Grow a plan also builds cash value over time that you can borrow from later. Help give your child a head start for just pennies a day. Don't wait. Call now for free information.
Call 1-800-420-0106. Help give your child the financial head start they deserve. Call now for your free information.
Could switching to Geico really save you 15% or more on car insurance? Did the little piggy cry wee, wee, wee all the way home?
Yeah?
You're home.
Oh, cool. Thanks, Mrs. A.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
You're about to be mesmerized. It's here. It's wild. It's sweeping the nation. It's Fushigi!
Fushigi. Like, I don't know what it is, but it's the coolest thing ever, and I can do it.
Hi, I'm Tim Goey, and this is Fushigi. We're gonna show you how to unlock the secrets of Fushigi, the magic gravity ball. No strings, no tricks. Magic? Maybe. An illusion? You decide. You can make Fushigi defy gravity and appear to float in midair with maneuvers like the prayer cross, the enigma, levitation, and so many more. It floats, it levitates, it will confuse.
Damn. It's an absolute scam. What up, everybody? It's your boy, Unofficial Dragon here, and welcome back to Fate Stay Night. I'm going to try to finish. I don't think we're finishing today, but I'm going to try to finish it. If you're watching this on YouTube, you're watching an archive stream, be sure to check me out live. Link is always in the description down below, as well as a link to my Discord, which I will let you know what I'm doing, what I'm thinking, how I'm feeling, all of that good stuff. Where we last left off, we defeated Berserker, and now Ilya is living in our house. And that's about it. Nothing much to continue off of there. So let's see what happens now that we've gotten the biggest obstacle out of the way. Rest in peace, Archer. He was a real one. Let us continue. Okay, time to start my lesson. First, though, is anything broken? That's how she began. It's kind of an odd question to ask the moment I arrive.
壊れたって何が？
だから動かない箇所はないかって聞いてるの。あれだけめちゃくちゃしたんだから神経が焼き切れるのは分かってるのよ。まあそんなのはどうでもいいんだけど、体のどこに異常があるのかぐらい知っておかないと授業にならないから。
According to Sasaka, some parts of me should be numb, but since I'm the one living in my body, I can't say she's wrong.
いや、動かないところはないぞ。一晩寝たら頭痛も熱もなくなったし、俺は至って健康だが。
はあ？そんなわけないでしょ。セイバーの剣を投影したのよ。あんなの腕一本維持してもおかしくない芸当じゃない。
だから動くって。だいたい体が動かなかったらイリアをおんぶして帰ってこれるわけないだろう。あの時おかしかったのは頭痛と熱だけだって。
Are we glossing over the He definitely said his arm is broken, and then like 2 seconds later, we just did not pay attention to that. Hello, Batra.
嘘よそんなの。シロ、ちょっと腕見せてみなさい。
She tugs on my arm before I can reply, and then stares at it. I realize I'm holding my breath. I may have gotten used to her being around, but I'm definitely not used to her being so close.
本当に異常はないみたいね。
What's happening with Ren? She's saying that we should be burned out of energy right now, but apparently we're fine.
焼き付いた跡かな。あざみたいに黒くなってるところはあるけど、他は完全に修復されてる。いえ、治ったというより、ようやく生え変わったってとこかしら。
Kosaka mutters quietly to herself as she inspects my arm. As if that weren't enough to leave me beet red.
ふざけた体ね。これ、例の自然治癒による回復じゃないわよ。シローの自然治癒は明らかに外部からの働きかけだけど、こっちはあなた自身の治癒能力だと思う。
Rin lifts up my sleeve, pressing her fingers along my arm.
ストップ。もういいだろう、遠坂。用が済んだら椅子に戻れ。
Any indication who best girl is so far, Rin? Rin actually has she's a little hot-headed, which I appreciate. I didn't like it at first, but given everything that she's done so far, her hot-headedness is to counteract. It's her quote-unquote character flaw, and I appreciate it. But she's legitimately the most logical of anybody that's in the game, and I appreciate that.
何よ、こっちはあんたの体を見てあげてるっていうのに。って。はは。
Tosaka leans closer to me.
熱は下がったって言うけど、まだ十分ありそうじゃない？白？顔が真っ赤よ。
See, like, this type of character is I enjoy. She's immediately going like, oh, something's wrong. I see, you're getting embarrassed because I'm so close to you. Ooh. And I like that.
そんなの俺の勝手だろ。お前関係ないんだから気にするな。
そうなんだ。関係ないんなら、私がこんなことしても影響はないわけよね。
額に手なんて当てるな。熱なんてないんだから、そんなことしても意味ないぞ。
ええ、そうみたいね。今度は耳まで真っ赤だもの。熱っていうより酔っ払ってるみたい。
She's doing this on purpose. This is deliberate. I know it. No shit.
遠坂、お前分かっててやってるだろ。
ああ、バレた？シロがあんまりにもベタな反応するから。ついからかっちゃった。
Anyone who would toy with a man's innocent feelings like that should do their repentance in hell. That we're back in 2000s and we have obvious gender roles going on right now. This is the most girly thing he said.
ま、冗談はこの程度にしといてあげる。あんまりからかうとミイラ取りがミイラになりかねないしね。
That's a problem. I feel like Tosaka is only teasing me harder now.
遠坂、今更言うのもなんだけど、俺は真面目に授業を受けに来たんだが。
あら、失礼ね。私だってそのつもりよ。今のだって教え子の状態を確認しただけだもの。
そうかよ。じゃ、そろそろ本題に入ってくれるんだな。
そうね。本題といっても私の専門外だからアドバイスぐらいしかできないけど、しないよりはマシだから。正直に言ってしまえばね、私があなたの力になってあげられたのは前回でおしまいなのよ。こんな短期間の授業で魔術は身につかない。私はただあなたが使ってなかったスイッチを取り付けただけ。それはわかる？
あの宝石だろ。確かにあれを飲んでから魔術回路は作るんじゃなくて切り替えるものになってくれた。
そう、一朝一夕で教えてあげられたのはそれぐらい。けどそれだって今まで鍛えてきたものを表に出したに過ぎないわ。私はあなたが体で覚えた魔術を後押しすることしかできないし、他の魔術を教える気もない。だって才能ないもの、あなた。
そこまでズバッと言われるとある意味さっぱりした。けど遠坂、俺が使える魔術ならアドバイスしてくれるんだろ。あんならあの時に使った魔術が何だったのか教えてくれ。
Tosaka doesn't answer. She's just glaring at me like I'm her worst enemy.
遠坂、そのレクチャーだよな、これって。黙っていられると俺も困るんだが。
She looks away, frowning. It's only a brief flicker of her expression, though.
無理よ。私、投影魔術なんて使えないもの。自分が知らないものを教えられるわけないじゃない？
遠坂が使えない？
Wasn't that what I used against Berserker? Pretty basic for a mage? I just imagined the structure and let the magical energy flow into it. It's no different than strengthening magecraft. You can't do that either. But flooding your own magical energy into something that's already formed is difficult. It's like adding what you think is red into existing mixtures of paint to draw a red hue, only to end up with some completely different color. By comparison, it's much easier to work with my own paint from the very beginning. I can just draw out whatever I want that way.
そんなはずあるか。遠坂ならあれぐらいできるだろ。強化より簡単だぞ、あれ。
あんたね、今の他の魔術師に言ったら間違いなく殺されるわよ。あんたがやったのは投影で、かつ宝具を完全に複製していた。あそこまでできるフェイカーなんて私は知らない。
A chill runs down my spine. It's not my imagination. Kosaka is actually angry.
どうってことないわ。そんなことあんたの蔵を見た時からうすうす感づいてたんだから。今さらエミやシローに殺意を抱いても仕方ない。勘違いしてるようだから言ってあげるとね。あなたがやったのは投影の魔術なの。
We learned about this already, though.
実在する美術品とか名剣とかそういったものを自身の魔力でイメージとして再現するっていう半端な魔術よ。大抵は儀式の際に使用する一時しのぎの代用品として使われる。イメージで編んだそれは当然架空のものとして認識されるからすぐに消えてしまうものなんだけどね。
I get that the replica is created from a mental image. I saw Saber's sword in my dream and imagined the golden sword based on it.
よくわからないな。魔力ってのは粘土だろ。たとえイメージでも一度形になったものなら消えることなんてないんじゃないのか。
そんなわけないじゃない。魔力ってのは自分の体の中でしか存在できないものでしょ。だから物に魔力を通したり魔力をスターターにして自然干渉を行うんじゃない。そりゃあ私だって魔力を飴のようにこねて探検ぐらい作れるわ。けどそれで終わり。それは探検の形をした飴に過ぎないし、外に出した魔力は気化していくからすぐに消えてしまう。いい？魔力だけで作り上げたものは長続きしないものだし、あくまで形だけのものよ。まあその形だけのものを外見も性能もオリジナルに近づけるのが投影魔術らしいんだけど。
She's right. Magical energy has no shape. I can feel it when it's flowing through my body. Once it leaves, it thins out and eventually disappears entirely. But then, no matter how many blueprints I make in my mind and form with magical energy, everything will fade because it's all made from magical energy. Now that I think about it, when Kidetsugu was teaching me magecraft, I showed him my half-assed attempt at projection, but he told me to stick with strengthening because I was doing it instead. What I was doing instead was inefficient.
そうか。投影って魔力の消費が激しいんだ。使ってもすぐに消えてしまうから作っても意味がない。
そういうこと。
But he's really good at it.
銃の魔力を使って剣を投影するでしょ。
Oh,
その
right,
場
pow.
合、その剣の力はせいぜい3か4なのよ。人間のイメージなんて穴だらけだから本物通りの複製なんてできないんだもの。対して銃の魔力を使って剣を強化した場合、その剣の力は20にも30にも跳ね上がる。加えてその持続時間は投影の何百倍よ。わかった？投影魔術っていうのは今じゃ儀式の時にしか使われないものなの。道具が揃えられなかった時の代用品としてすぐに消える複製品を用意するための魔術に過ぎない。シローの父親が強化を教えたのは適切よ。ただでさえ魔術回路が少ないんだから投影なんて無駄な魔術を教えたら一般人と変わらないもの。
Sometimes a Monday, sometimes a Friday. As in, you don't have 2 days off at a time? Barely any Sunday or Saturday? I'm actually working right now. I know, that's why I asked. Not often? Bro, you don't get paid enough. I don't know how much you get paid, but you don't get paid enough. Everybody deserves at least 2 days off. I think people deserve more time off, to be honest, but nobody should work longer than 8 hours because it's a third of your day, and nobody should work more than 5 days a week. Unless, of course, you own a farm or something. That's different. But what was that then? The golden sword, I imagine, was a real for a moment, and it even had a real sword's power.
じゃあ、セイバーの剣を投影したのはまぐれだったのかな。考えてみれば、あの剣に蓄えられていた魔力は桁違いだった。自分の何百倍っていう魔力を模倣するなんて、どう見てもおかしいよな。
それはきっと白は剣と相性がいいのよ。魔術師はそれぞれ属性を持ってるでしょ。あなたはそれが剣なんだと思う。
属性？火とか水とか各元素に当てはまるものか。
そう、普通は世界を構成する一元素を背負うものなんだけどね。魔術協会でも火はノーマル、風はノーブルって言われてるじゃない。治水火風空でもいいし、木火土金水でもいい。このうちどれか一つを魔術師は持っているんだけど、中にはさらに分化した属性もあるわ。大抵そういう魔術師は中央には入れず、突出した専門家として名を馳せるらしいけど、それで言うなら白は剣よ。多様性はないけど、こと剣に関しては頂点を狙えるってこと。な
るほど。それは確かに。
I've always been fascinated with swords. Now I'm curious about Tosaka's specialty. Knowing her is probably fire or wind, it's literally jewels. But I could probably just ask since I'm curious.
なあ、トサカ。参考までに聞くけど、お前の属性ってなんだ？
私は五大元素っていう属性だけど。
Oh, just the elements in general. Does she mean all of them?
ともかく私が言えることなんてそんなものよ。投影は虚影って言われるぐらい意味のないものだから、あまり多用はしないこと。それにね、セイバーの剣を模造するなんてそんなのは自殺行為よ。あの時はうまくいったからいいものの、本来なら自滅していてもおかしくなかった。
Our main character is swords.
セイバーの剣の魔力はシローの魔力のキャパシティを超えているのよ。それを複製するってことは、自分の魔術回路の限界を軽くオーバーしてるってわかるでしょ。
わかってる。けど、自
分の限界なんて、you just missed the part where she specified that some people have really specific connections to stuff. So basically, she said we have a really specific connection to swords for some reason.
いけるわ。だからこそ魔術師は死と隣り合わせなんじゃない。魔術が形式に沿ったものなら、知識さえあればどんな魔術だって行えるのは同意でしょ。たとえ自分では再現不可能の奇跡だって分かっていても、それにチャレンジすることは誰にでもできる。魔術師なんて動力源に過ぎない。小さなエンジンでもアクセルを踏み続けていれば規定以上のスピードは出る。けどその先にあるのは自滅しかない。それと同じよ。魔術師っていうのはね、自滅さえ覚悟するなら限界なんて簡単に超えられる。
Do the impossible, break the unbreakable.
魔術回路を引き寄せ
fight the power.
神経をズタズタにして、それでも魔力を回転させていけば奇跡に手は届くわ。あなたの投影はまさにそれよ。戦いの後ずっと体が熱かったのは神経が焼き切れていたからだもの。それが分不相応な魔術の代償よ。手足の1本や2本壊れて当然のことをあなたはしたの。
If we win, who cares? Tosaka's voice grows a little louder. But at the same time, It should only be used as a last resort, but like I said, if we win, who fucking cares?
自分の限界を超えた魔術は術者を廃人にするわ。セイバーの剣を投影するなんてもう二度とやらないで。
No. Tosaka is worried about me, genuinely. After her warning, Tosaka prescribed some medicine I'm not familiar with.
まあ、無理するなって言っても無駄だろうしね。気休めだろうけど、もしもの時の痛め止めぐらいは飲んどきなさい。うまくいけば、あざで変色した肌も治るかもしれないし。
Tosaka explains that Tosaka explains this as she prepares some kind of green powdery medicine. I drink it with some tea. Tosaka rummages through her stuff and tries to prescribe some other medicine. Anyway, I feel bad for Tosaka having to go through all her stuff just for me, but I feel like I'm wasting my time just sitting here. I should... Question one of the medicine. So that's a school then. I feel like if we want more points with Tosaka, we should question one, but I'm asking more about projection. Nothing changed here. I think I got what projected magecraft is all about, but I want more detail. Especially the part about taking an image and giving it shape.
なあ、Tosaka、忙しいとこ悪いんだけど。
何よ、早くしろってんなら蹴っ飛ばすわよ。探し物が見つからなくてイライラしてるのはこっちなんだから。どうしてこうしまったはずのものがなくなってるのよ、この家は。
She complains to herself as she searches. Classic Tosaka, especially the part where she stumbles in the preparation phase, even though she executes everything else flawlessly.
ああ、そのまま。探しながらでいいから、さっきの話の続きをしてくれないか。その、投影がイメージから作る模造品だとか、そういうこと。
まあいいわ。話しておくことはあんたのためになるかもしれないし。
She's definitely in a bad mood. She tosses aside the duffel bag she'd been rummaging through and plops down in a chair.
じゃあ、手短に説明するわね。投影っていうのは手持ちにないものをその時だけ使うためのものよ。逆に言えばこの世にないもの、とっくに失われたものさえ復元することができる。本物を寸分たがわず想像できれば、あとは魔力で一時的に編み上げられるってこと。この投影したものは魔力の期間に応じて消えていくのは話したわよね。どんなに強い魔力でもイメージで編み上げた物体はだんだんと薄れていく。いえ、それだけじゃないわ。
I have a prediction that we're going to combine projection and strengthening magic into one thing and change Saber's sword into actual caliber.
そんな幻想は世界そのものが許さない。だから投影によって編み上げられたものは一日だって世界にはとどまれない。
世界そのものが許さないってどうして？
幻想は幻想だから何でもありなの。それがもし形を得てしまったらそれはもう現実でしょ。けど現実にはそんなものは存在しない。その矛盾を解消するためにね、現実が幻想を潰しにかかるのよ。いい？魔術ってのは元からあるものに手を加えて違うものに切り替える現象を言うの。言うなれば変化、等価交換よ。
Especially that.
けど幻想に等価交換も何もない。イメージで作られたものが世界のどこにもない場合、それは絶対の矛盾になる。
So if we force something from something, if you use like transmigration, I don't remember the word for it, but you know what I mean.
そのものがその幻想を破壊する。世界とつながって奇跡を起こすのはいいけど、世界にない奇跡を起こすのはご法度だから。通常の魔術っていうのは世界のどこかにある実物を目の前に持ってきて使うことよ。けど 投影魔術は人間のイメージを彩色する。いかに魔術といえどここにないものを作り上げてはいけない。それは現実を侵食する幻想に他ならないから。生物が自己防衛を最優先するように世界だって自己防衛を最優先する。世界にとっての命は秩序でしょ。だから秩序を乱す矛盾、現実を侵食する幻想は世界そのものに握りつぶされるのよ。
Osaka explains it rapidly, all in one breath. I don't understand half of it. That was pretty self-explanatory.
そうか。つまり俺がしたことはエミやシロの限界を超えているってことなんだな。
だからそう言ったじゃない。投影はあなたの命を削る魔術だから、セイバーにねだられても使っちゃダメよ。
I don't think Saber would. Osaka resumes rummaging through her stuff. As I watch her blankly, I'm reminded again that me being berserker really was a miracle. And after giving me several medications, Tosaka instructs me to do simple strengthening exercises while we keep an eye on how my body reacts. Apparently, she's checking to see that nothing goes wrong inside me when I'm using magical energy. Honestly, Tosaka seems more like a doctor than a teacher today.
よし、問題はないみたいね。この分なら明日はもう来なくていいわ。
That's a bit of a surprise. I don't have to come tomorrow. That means...
当然じゃない。今の状況で私があなたに教えることなんてないもの。本気で魔術を習いたいんならこの戦いが終わってからにするべきよ。それにもうアーチャーはいないでしょ。素人の協力関係はもうとっくに終わってたのよ。
Like when I suddenly realized our alliance was only so we could defeat Berserker. Now that Berserker's gone and Tosaka doesn't have a servant anymore, our living arrangement should be over. Should have ended yesterday even. We'll be lurking. I appreciate the lurk.
それじゃあ、トサカはこれからどうするんだ？琴峰のところに行くのか？
That'd probably be a normal thing to do. Tosaka and Father Kotomine are student disciples, so it shouldn't be an issue for her to go and asking for him for protection.
なんで？行くわけないじゃない。まだ負けてもいないのに。サーバントがいなくなったから戦えないなんてことはないでしょ。それにやり逃げってのも趣味じゃないしね。一度戦うと決めたからには最後まで事の顛末を確かめるのが責任でしょ。
She says it's like it should be the most obvious thing in the world. It is, kind of, if you know her, and she's proud about that. My eyes widen. Well, okay, maybe not. I should have expected this from Tosaka. She's unbelievably stubborn, absolutely selfish, and captivatingly brilliant.
けど、それじゃどうするんだ？一人でやっていくのか？まだサーバントとマスターは残ってるんだぞ。
そうね。だからしばらくはここで情報を集めるわ。竜道寺の調査も再開しないといけないし。
しばらくはここに残る。いいのか？そうしてもらえると助かるけど、もう協力関係は終わったんだろ？なら。
何言ってるのよ。バーサーカーに勝てたのはアーチャーのおかげでしょ。協力関係は終わったけど、その借りはまだ貸したままよ。
Is that how you see it?
返済が終わるまでここを提供するのは当然じゃない。それに責任は最後まで取るって言ったでしょ。ちょっとの間だったけど師弟になったしね。あなたを一人にしたら頼りなくって心配で、聖杯戦争どころじゃなくなるわ。
Ah, right. Feels like a lifetime ago, so ideally forgotten, but I admired Rin because of those exact qualities for a long time now. So I'm actually very happy. That's the Tosaka I've always known and liked. Besides, if I ever saw the day a girl as stubborn as her gives up, I wouldn't know what to believe from then on.
これからもよろしく頼む、トサカ。なんだかんだ言って、お前がいないと右も左もわからない。俺とセイバーには、トサカが必要なんだ。
いいけど、あんた、その言い回しはやめなさいってば。バカ正直なのはいいけど、気をつけないと誤解を招くわよ。
He didn't though. I'm not sure why that upset Tosaka so much.
トサカ、誤解を招くって何を招くってんだ。
今のは失言なの。聞くなって態度で表してるんだから、追求するのはルール違反よ。
Tosaka must be aware of some secret rule I'm not. Apparently, he's never read a book or anything.
これじゃセイバーも大変だわ。
Yeah.
まあ、それともあんたたちはそれでちょうどいいのかもね。少しぐらい麻痺してないと、あなたもセイバーもダメなのかもしんないし。
It's true.
よくわからないけど、そのセイバーが大変だってのは聞き捨てならないぞ。なんだってセイバーが大変なんだよ、トサカ。
She's aware of your presence as a male.
だからあんたのそういうところが大変だって言ってるの。その分じゃセイバーの変化になんて気がついてないんでしょ。
We have, he just doesn't know what to do about it.
セイバーの変化。
It's not about our appearance, right? Brother, if anything would have changed in Saber.
ああ、そういえば朝から様子が変だったな。いや、イリアがいたから不機嫌だったとは思うんだけど、それにしたって黙って正座してるわ。どうしたんだって聞けば夢を見たとか言って立ち去っちまうし。
I pretty much forgot about it in all the hustle and bustle over Ilya. Yeah, Saber's been a little off since this morning, like her head is somewhere else.
セイバーが夢を見た？
何？それって驚くところか、トサカ。
Should she not be having dreams? And now she's ignoring me.
おい、黙ってないで何か言ってくれ。そんな顔されるとこっちまで不安になってくる。
ああ、別にそんな大したことじゃないわ。単にサーバントは夢を見ないってだけだから。
Servants don't dream.
そうよ、サーバントは夢なんて見ないわ。それでも見たって言うんなら、それは夢じゃない。単に誰かの記憶を垣間見ただけの話よ。
Maybe Tosaka experienced it before. The coldness in her voice runs so counter to her usual cheerfulness. And now it's time to prepare dinner. With so much happening these days, I thought the whole cooking rotation had gone out the window, but then...
今日の夕食お願いね。今夜もまた冷えそうだし、イリアもいるし、シチューとかいいんじゃない？
She steps out of her room and she speaks.
まあ確かにイリアはシチューってイメージだけどな。
Maybe it's the hat and coat she wears that make me think that. Whatever the case, I don't have a problem making stew for dinner. I'm no expert at Western dishes like stew, but I don't think I can mess up something like that. Stew is basically you just take a pot of water and you add shit to it, so you just need to know what specific stuff you need to add to it.
その前に。
It's a little before 6 o'clock. I still have some time before I need to cook. I mean, he had training, so I've done my share of sweating today. Seems like now would be a good time to take a bath. Taking a bath before dinner might be a hassle, but Tosaka and Saber usually do it right after dinner, so it would be pretty late by the time it was my turn. How is stew and soup different? I believe it's the stuff that's added to it. Let's find out. Stews have more liquid, soups have more liquid while stews have less. I don't know how you quantify that, but there you go. I guess stews have more like contents in the actual pot as opposed to more liquids. If that's the case, then I prefer stew over soup any day. The hallway is cold. The heaters have the rooms nice and warm, but once I'm out in the hallway, I can still feel the wintry chill. Oyuki's winters are typically warm, but the weather has been screwy these past few days. Squilly! Squilly rabbit! Speaking of cold, it looks like it snowed. I must not have noticed because it's only lasted less than an hour, and it didn't snow in a large amount. If there had been so much snow on the ground, my yard would be packed with my entire army of snowmen. What? My yard would be packed with an entire army of snowmen, which really sucks to clean up. In that sense, I'm glad I didn't snow much. Of course, the snowman army would be the work of a single person. Can't help but smile as I remember when it snowed last year, and her cold, reddened hand gripping the lectern. Huh? I was thinking of taking a shower, but the bathroom is already warm. Ah. I don't think I need it, but let me, just get that sensor ready. Here's something moving in water. I strain my eyes trying to see the bathtub through the haze of the steam. My mind goes blank in the white sheets of steam filling the bathroom. My throat closes and I can't get a word out. My brain stops working and I'm paralyzed. In the back of my mind, I recall something similar happening. Actually, the exact same thing has happened already. Last time I was stressed and Saber wasn't. Not this time.
Saber.
The only sound is my own loud gulping. Saber just freezes, watching me as I stand there dumbfounded. She's gonna get mad. Why would she get mad? Here it comes. Gonna die. I really hate, like, reading... Like, this is so very clearly written by a dude. Her soft lips begin to tremble. Any second now, she's gonna start yelling.
すまん、悪かった。シャワーを使おうと思って、いや、こんな時間に誰か入っているとは思っていなかったんだけど、普通気がつくだろう、そんなことって言われるのはもっともなんだが。
I rambled out a lame excuse as I stepped backwards, trying to head back to the changing room. It's not that I'm gawking at it, you were exactly doing that. But for some reason, I feel like I'm making a mad dash for the changing room would just make Saber angrier. The truth of the matter is, I can't take my eyes off her. I remember the night in the ruins. I recall Saber's warmth. Close it was. The body was so... Bro, if you say slender one more fucking time, I'm going to fucking kill someone. Jesus Christ. The heat of our bodies, even our heartbeats mingled, overlapped. At the time, I was just desperate to fix the problem. But now it all feels so tempting. I try to reach behind me for the exit, and then...
申し訳ありません、ジロー。その勝手な申し出なのですが、今は席を外してもらえないでしょうか。
He was leaving anyway. Saber reverts her gaze, her voice oddly muffled. No, I really don't know what to think. I'm not sure why Saber isn't mad. Seeing how embarrassed she looks, she causes blood to pound in my skull. Did I misread the situation? Hold on. Or the words she said? No, she said, do you mind leaving? He was leaving anyway. The words come out before I could stop myself. Saber looks down even more apologetically.
ですから、シャワーを使うのはもう少し後にしてください。この場を一人で使うことを今だけは許してほしい。
That's how it is normally. Saber shrinks in on herself, hiding her body. And then I suddenly remember. When I ran into her in the changing room last time, Saber didn't say anything. Sex does not matter for servants. She said that. Appearances hadn't mattered to her.
つまり、待て、頭がぐるぐるしててうまく言えないんだが。
What? See, I never understood. Like, I know it's anime and I should not just take it seriously, but like, how the fuck are you still talking in this situation? Like anybody else opens the fucking like the slide door or whatever, sees someone in here and goes, oh shit, and then just closes the slide door. Come on, work, brain.
要するにセイバー怒ってないのか？
シローが体を洗うのは当然でしょう。私はそこまでマスターの行動を制限しません。
Because they want to talk? I don't think that's true. I get it. Saber doesn't care what she looks like or whether she has clothes on or not. That's why it's not weird for me to be here. No, it is. The issue here is that she has not seen herself as a girl until just now, and which is why she's getting embarrassed. She can't just change her mindset. I don't understand why, like, I know our protagonist is dense and like we literally just went over that he's dense, but like, come on, brother. You cannot be this socially inept. The bathroom is a place to wash one's body, so my presence isn't strange. It doesn't matter whether Saber's here or not. Knowing that helps, but I have a feeling I'm wrong.
けどなら今俺がシャワーを使ってもいいってことになるんだけど。
Huh?
ですからそれは見られることは問題ではないのです。ただ私の体は凛のように少女のものではありません。
That's okay.
ですから。
She blushes even more, tripping over her words.
シローにはあまり見てほしくない。このように筋肉のついた体では殿方には見苦しいでしょう。
Bro, I don't know about y'all, but muscular women are hot. Like, hold on. Okay. I'm gonna play something. VOD watchers are just gonna have to miss out because I'm gonna get demonetized for this. I'm just saying, Saber, muscular women are fucking hot. Just saying. You wanna wide shoulders? Dude, I'm into the fucking... I was gonna say something crazy. Guardian Soulblade, how you doing, man? You guys know that, actually, this one I can play on stream. This one I can't play on stream, hold on. It's not for the same reason that everybody else likes stuff like this, but fuck, I can't find the there it is.
I love the kind of woman that will actually just kill me. You know, when I left the house today, I was thinking, damn, I really hope some hot chick paints my brains all over some fucking hallway. And here we are. I mean, really, just absolutely destroy me. I'm talking full-on watermelon in the thighs level carnage. And I want it to scare the shit out of me. I mean, I hope I piss myself. I hope I piss myself and you call me your little pee-pee piss boy. I want you to fuck me up. I mean, I want you to make me your bitch. Your little pee-pee piss myself bitch. I want it to get embarrassing. I mean, like, weirdly embarrassing. Unsanitary, too. We should be entirely different people by the end of the first 8 hours. Do you understand what I'm trying to say here? I mean, I'm a real freak. I'm not normal. Ma'am, please, you have to crush me.
Okay, the actual line is, I love the kind of woman that could kick my ass, and that's my type. If she can, I mean, you guys have seen me play Persona, right?
What the hell is this?
Snake, what the fuck? You guys have seen me play Persona. My favorite character in Persona is Makoto, because the first thing Makoto does is has the mental breakdown and rides a fucking bike and starts whooping people's ass. That's fucking cool. I love the kind of woman that can kick my ass. Also, she isn't really all that muscular, all things considered. Saber, I mean. Proud member of the Church of Makoto, indeed. You can have the She-Hulk. Well, she has to have a good series first. She sounds so bashful. So again, just to clarify, I like those types of women, but it's not for the same reason that other people like those types of women. People like those types of women because they're all like oh, I want her to baby me, mommy type characters. I want to win. I want to fight that woman and win. That's what I want. I almost faint just for so many reasons. I would never think that. Saber's body is a long way from unsightly. She says she's rugged, but that never bothered me. The Dom. Well, the thing is that most people who are dominants, like have dominant personalities, are not Doms. If you're just trying to say he's a Saiyan, I am a Saiyan. Kyo's got a type. He's got a lot of types. Sure, she's more muscular than Tosaka, but still, I still think Saber is very feminine.
Shiro, そういう理由だから一人にしてほしいのですが。
I don't know how I responded. I only remember nodding slightly and pulling the door closed. Then you know exactly how you responded. And so, sorry, I just thought of a really funny sound alert. Hold on, I'm putting it in the Discord so I can remember to do it later. So the day ends. You know what I'm trying to get at because of what Vegeta said? Yes, I agree. Cheetos and Saber are my babies, and I have both Senji, Muramasa, and Saber on 2 different support lists of FGO, JP, and NA. I don't know what the second half of that sentence. I don't know what you said. You know, it's chaotic. I also don't know what that next thing you said is. Alia got chattier with each meal, and she and Tosaka have gotten to this weird point where I'm not sure if they're fighting or being friendly. Saber has accepted Elia's presence here, but she hasn't warmed up to her. More than that, Saber gets pretty frowny whenever Elia gets near me. These past few days have been just plain rough. They have a fake collaboration with Star Rail. Oh, I see. I just got guaranteed pitied, lock and loaded. You get your pity rolls all locked up. You ready to roll for some Raifuns? The normal routine of just a few days ago has devolved? Yes, devolved into complete chaos. I step silently out into the yard. It's just about time for the calendar to roll over to the next day. I walk beneath the pale light of the moon, leaving faint puffs of wet breath in my wake. Next thing I know, I'm at work on my daily routine. I don't really need to train out here since Osaka is teaching me, but I still sit on the cold ground and check on things I've been working on for so long. I'm not doing this because I'm worried about my skills. It's more that I find doing it soothing. I've been doing this for years, so just not doing it would feel weird. Put even more effort into tonight's training. Saka told me not to do it anymore, but I can't just do as she says. If I can master this projection thing, it'd mean I can be a lot more helpful to Saber. And the heat from earlier is still lingering within me. The night at the ruins. The battle in the forest in the morning mist. The golden sword I created. The residual heat still lingers in my hands, and deep down I found myself hoping I'll be able to reignite those flames.
想像理念鑑定
It's easy to recreate. At the time, I was so desperate that my mind was a jumble, but now I can retrace the necessary steps and form my incantation. No. From the very beginning, there has only been one single thing that could serve as a trigger for me. The pronunciation is the same. But just by changing my perception of how it is said, it would become something entirely mine, my own original spell.
基本骨子想定
I know very well how dangerous this is. Kosaka doesn't need to remind me. Favorite route is my favorite route? I don't know what that means. I really have no business getting anywhere near projection magecraft. It's completely beyond me. Venturing so brazenly into dangerous waters can lead only to death.
家庭終了これ即無なり
Someone walked in. I erased the blueprint that was in my head. A shadow falls across the door. Saber comes in, frame blotting out the light of the moon.
よかった。ここにいたのですね、シロ。姿が見えないので何かあったのかと。
Fate Stay Night changes depending on your choices, but this story was always first. So.
いや別に何があったわけじゃない寝つけないから頭の体操をしていただけだ一通りこなしたら部屋に戻るから心配はいらない
そうですかならいいのですが
Guardian Soul, Guardian. Who's the waifu then? Saber focuses on my forehead. She can probably see that I'm dripping with sweat.
ああこれもいつものことだから気にしないでくれ魔術の練習なんて魔術師として当然のたしなみだろ
You'll have 3, but Saber's always first. So far, my favorite is Tosaka, so.
いやまあ半人前なんで失敗はつきものなんだけど
I wiped the sweat from my brow with the back of my hand.
Oh.
I'm surprised. My sweat is cold as ice. I thought it was cold, but I don't remember the shit being quite this cold.
シロ一日も欠かさずそれを
You understand after you finish the story or route?
いやまあできる限りは親父に言われた日課だしこれぐらいはやらないと
I'm sure I'll understand. I don't think it'll change much for me. Like a lot has to happen to put Saber in the running, or to past Tosaka at this point, rather. As soon as I finish speaking, I regret my bluff. I regret telling her this is my daily routine. My intent was to boast to Saber. At the end of the day, my training isn't just some chore to me. Sequel stories coming up, so you'll be able to enjoy that too. If people like this, I mean, it's been doing well on YouTube, but it hasn't really been doing well on stream. But it isn't the easiest of tasks either. Saber says nothing. The moon hangs behind her, its light spilling around her frame.
You're a fool!
The shed plunges into bluish darkness and is illuminated for a few shafts of silvery light that make it past Saber. I bet if MC watched more anime or played more video games, he can make more stupid swords. He just fucking summons a Buster sword. The Dragon Slayer sword. I recall the first night I met her.
Saber, 遠坂が言ってたことなんだけど
The moment felt like just a dream.
サーバントは夢を見ないっていうのは本当なのか
A lightsaber even? That'd be sick. It would only be good for one slash, but that would be really funny. Can't stop myself from asking.
ええ私たちは夢を見ないもともと幽体であるサーバントは眠りません私は幽体化ができないため眠らざるを得ませんがそれでも夢は見れません
でも朝は見たって
There was a brief silence. He closes her eyes, then apparently having made up her mind.
私が見たものはあなたの夢です、シロ。マスターとサーバントは精神的にもつながっている。結びつきが強くなれば相手の過去を垣間見ることもあるでしょう。
夢に見たって俺の過去か。
はい、あなたの心に踏み入る行為だとは分かっていたのですが、私には拒むことができなかった。それをどうか許してください、シロ。
But it's not like you did it intentionally. Plus, I've been seeing your memories. You did the same thing. Saber's past. I've seen several scenes from her life before she became a servant now. You should probably tell her that.
バカ、そんなのセイバーのせいじゃないだろう。夢に見ちまうなら仕方がないじゃないか。それに謝るのはこっちの方だ。俺の昔なんてつまんないことばかりだろ。そんなもん見せられたらおちおち眠ってられやしない。
いえ、夢を見たのは今朝だけです。それも最近のことではありませんから、シロの男性としてのプライベートを侵害するようなことは決してありません。
Saber's dead serious is dead serious about that warning. But privacy? Well, yeah, sure. I have my share of dumb things.
それは助かるけど、最近のことじゃないって、じゃあいつ頃のことなんだ。
大きな火事でした。私が見たものはその光景だけです。
Her voice is quiet. Her gentle gaze tells me what she saw. What the fuck? That dream.
そうか。それはなんていうか。
Should I say it was unfortunate? It's like going to a movie theater expecting to see a movie you know, but then you somehow end up in the wrong theater and end up in a completely different show. So very specific. That happened to somebody.
それでわかりました。いいえ、前から思ってはいたのです。あなたにはひどく危ういところがあると。
危ういところってなんだよ。そりゃセイバーから見れば至るところは危なげだろうけど。
そんな意味ではありません。あなたは、シローは私と似ています。だからあなたの間違いもわかる。このまま進めばどうなってしまうかも同じだから分かってしまう。
いや、間違ってなんかないけどな。
That is exactly the problem.
そりゃ失敗は数えきれないけど、俺は親父みたいな正義の味方になるんだ。間違ったことなんてできないだろう。
だからそれが間違いなのです。シロ、あの事故はあなたのせいでもないし、その責任はあなたが負うべきものでもない。あなたには償うべきものなどないのです。
That's obvious. It was just an accident, and I was just a victim. Sure, I may be dealing with survivor's guilt.
以前、リンが言っていました。シローの自己犠牲と献身ぶりは異常だと。それは私も同感です。あなたは自らの命を代価として人を助けようとするのではない。
He's sacrificing himself to die.
単に、初めから自分の命が
Chad, it's fucking muffin time. Oh, I gotta add that as a sound alert. That'd be funny too. Maybe my pupils have dilated. Actually, Chad, did I show you what muffin time is? I don't remember which one it is, but I can show you that real quick. This is not going in the VOD either. Yeah, I'm not putting that into the VOD because then I have to put a suicide warning on here, and I'm not doing that. be there another 20 to 45 minutes, and it's either going to be very calm or pissed. Phone tag is fucking horrible. Yeah, having people do their jobs and trying to call people to do their jobs is really annoying. That's why nobody likes taxes. I'm not sure why, but I can't seem to focus on Saber's face. So hello, Dad.
あなたにはできないでしょう。ですが、覚えている限りシロは変わらない。それは苦しいのではないですか。
苦しい？俺が？
Well, yeah, that's painful. Saber doesn't need to remind me of that. It is obvious. So many people died. It was absolute hell. Something like that causing the pain is only natural. And besides, if I didn't feel that, it might all be meaningless.
確かにこうして思い出すと辛い。けど、それは終わったことだ。今さらどうにかできることじゃないだろう。
Saber doesn't answer. Instead, she claws at her arm in frustration.
私は聖杯を手に入れなければならない。けれど、それはシローにも当てはまる。
セイバ
ー。シローには聖杯が必要だ。私があなたに呼び出されたのは必然だったのです、マスター。
I don't know how to respond to that.
先に眠ります。シローもあまり無茶はしないように。
Over much? Saber leaves. I fold my arms and think, do I need the Holy Grail? A vessel that grants wishes to its possessor. A vessel which contains unlimited qualities of magical energy, for which it is said nothing is impossible. Where I get to it, it could easily grant my wish.
いや、違う。どう考えても聖杯なんていらないぞ、おい。
No, I definitely don't need it. Because I don't have any wishes that can't come true, or hope for anything that's impossible. I wouldn't have a dream if it weren't something I could attain myself. The night grows darker. In the familiar old shell? In the familiar old shed, lit by the moonlight, I listen to the distant wind. Okay, I guess we're saving now. Oh, the next day is Valentine's Day. That'll be interesting. The sky is gray, the hill crimson with corpses. Oh, that's bad. The heavy clouds drift away, heralding the battle's end. I know this scene. I've seen it so many times now. This is one of Saber's battles. She fought and won so many victories, scenes like this are almost commonplace for her. Afterwards, she will return to her castle where her victory will be praised and celebrated. Then she will prepare for the next battle. This is just life for her. It is only one of the 12 great battles she fought. It is only one of the, and so she does not truly remember victory, so much as she just accepts it as a fact. I think she's misguided. This is not a dream. It's just a cold reality. Her past that can't be changed. The moment she drew the sword, she stopped being human. She took over for her father as a feudal lord and became a king with many knights. She was known as King Arthur and Altria. The life of a girl who once aspired to be a knight changed so radically. No. Was forced to end her life as she knew it, might be a better way to put it. In that instant, the girl who still had such childlike features ceased to be and became the king of knights. She acted like she was the king's son. The ruler of territories and knights had to be male. Only her father and the mage knew the king was female. What is your question, Day? Bashra, crush that guy's balls. Give that guy a muffin. She covered herself in iron and hid the truth for the rest of her life. The cursed name? What do you mean the cursed name? Altria? I don't know why I never realized the implications until now. I have no questions, I'm just confused. Well, if you're confused, then you have questions, no? Batra! As much public exposure as she had, she managed to pass herself off as a male the whole time. The sheer suffering she likely endured must have been incredible, but a simple observer could never really understand. Boop. Time passes. 10 years worth of memories as king. Altria is cursed. Before Natsu picked Altria, she was always Artoria. I guess that makes sense if you're trying to like convert Arthur into a girl's name. Questions that can be answered by watching the most of their VODs is what I get for missing most of it. How dare you be fucking busy? How dare you work a job? How dare you have a life outside of my streams, dude? What the fuck? Relax. Just ask your questions. The thing that irritates me is if you're here and then you're like, what's going on? I wasn't paying attention. That's what irritates me. But if you just have a life outside of shit, it is what it is. Saber has been called Artoria since 2012. Well, Saber is going to be called Saber now. And there was only one common thread that entire time, even when she's on the throne, even when she's walking through the hallway, even when she's on the battlefield, not a soul spoke to her. Even the round table, filled as it was with knights boasting of their valor, always fell silent the moment the king appeared. Speaking of that, I'm needed back to adulthood. Gross. So that's what it meant. She was merely tolerated as an idol. Many knights looked down on Altria with her boyish appearance and were ultimately not comfortable entrusting her with their blades. But because she managed to draw their sacred sword that no one else could, they had to obey, even if only to keep up appearances. They just accepted the disgrace, believed it would pass. Sacred sword or no, the king was merely a child. Even with Merlin's support, the king would surely fail eventually. When that happened, they needed to take the sacred sword from her and select a new king. That's probably what most of the knights thought. But that's not how it went. The knight, only just reaching adulthood, was a flawless king. She enforced peace among the squabbling lords and fought off invaders as well. Of course, this wasn't due to the sacred sword's powers. The sacred sword only protects the king. The king, on the other hand, protects their nation. Through her deeds, she was able to maintain control of her knights. The sacred sword protects her only from her enemies. It does nothing to help her hold sway over the hearts of her subjects. She worked herself to the bone to be the ideal king to all. At that point, the knights had no choice but to obey. They held their dissatisfaction for the young king in check because the king was truly perfect. She strived to be the ideal king. The only condition for the knights' support was their king be exactly that, the ideal king. There was no room for Altria to be a human being. She could be a king and only a king. The peerless knight who drew the sacred sword, who stopped aging from that moment, and who went on to win 12 great wars. The more perfect she became, the more people stayed away from her. As this continued, the king grew more and more isolated. That was who she was. But she did well. In fact, she did too well. She defeated her enemies and minimalized her own side's casualties. No matter the battle, sacrifices must be made, so she believed it was her duty to make sacrifices, to bolster her army, and to defeat the enemy without wasting lives. She would strip the resources from one village to prepare her army, then defeat the invaders before they could strike her land, saving perhaps 10 villages. That was the king's approach, and it proved to be the best strategy at the time. But the kings must not have been happy, but the knights. To them, only a foreign invader should have died. And the only true victory is made without such sacrifices. There shouldn't be any need to sacrifice a territory before battle. I don't think these knights are good knights. That's just not how fighting works. They were going to win regardless, so such sacrifices were pointless. There wouldn't be any sacrifices, so the king's actions were a waste. It was, of course, total nonsense. Once battle began, the knights spared not a thought for those little villages. No one thought twice about trampling the villages. Protecting them was never a consideration. The knights claimed there's nothing to be done when an enemy destroys such villages, but to let them be destroyed is a great crime. Obviously, she knew that. But a king cannot worry about their personal feelings. She had to kill her emotions to make her decisions, and her knights had to suppress their own feelings to obey. And so sacrifices are made, and that string of victories stabilizes the nation. In return, animosity for the king grew. King Arthur just doesn't understand how people feel. So one night was heard to say as they left the castle, "What a ridiculous story. She was expected to not be human, but they hated her precisely because she didn't have human emotions." The age of war continued. The animosity of knights who had been dissatisfied with the king only grew more so after that knight left. They forced her to deal with every foreign and domestic enemy in hopes of pushing her over the edge. Collapse was imminent. If these many people confronting the nation were never resolved, it would crumble. Even if all of them were to be resolved, what awaits is more of the same. But that did not concern the king. Even should she be abandoned, feared, or betrayed, she would remain steadfast, because she had long since made up her mind. She abandoned her emotions the moment she decided to draw that sword. This happened long, long ago. Knights from across the nation gathered to try to draw the sword from the stone, but none of them could do it. The knights instead showcased their skill on horseback. You get a crown, the best among them king. The knights flocked to the arena in droves. The sword and the stone lay outside, forgotten. From afar, it looked more like a festival. Even in the distance, the sound of valiant cavalrymen clashing is audible. The knights clashed in the distance, the rock lay forgotten. What was going through the girl's mind as she stood in front of the rock? Before she realized it, an unknown mage stood behind her. Don't do it, Afro. He tries to stop her for her own good. He also warned her that many would hate her and that she would die a gruesome death. She must have been terrified. The mage showed her the future. He showed her the end she would meet if she drew the sword. It only made her all the more determined. Even after seeing that future, she only gave a firm nod. The mage asked if that's what she wanted. She took the sword in her hand. The mage looked troubled and turned away. He departed with those prophetic words. That's right. She wanted to protect everyone, but to do so, she had to abandon her desire to protect people. She cannot protect her country as its king if she still has a human heart. Even knowing this, she drew the sword. Even knowing this, she vowed to live as king. So no matter what happened, she would remain steadfast. She abandoned her human heart. She was willing to give that up to protect her nation. Who could have known that the girl made such a noble oath? Come what may, however might end. Even in an inevitable solitary doom awaiting her. If. And her end did come. The Battle of Camelon. King Arthur set out on a campaign, and one of her knights usurped her throne. splitting the nation in two and sparkling a terrible conflict. Wasn't it Lancelot that took the crown from him? Legend has it that the battle brought an end to the knighthood of chivalry. She killed every knight who once served her and invaded the land she had fought to defend. All the knights who followed her were gone, and her own body lay injured and immobile. There was no one left around her. As ever, nothing has changed. All she had in her heart was the pride of a king. She'd known about this ending. Still, she believed there was something to be gained from this failure, which is why she kept fighting without ever failing or disgracing herself. She had not regrets. If she were to have one, it would be seeing her nation in ruin. She raised her gaze. Maybe she would be able to see her castle in the distance from this hill. She saw only the aftermath of battle, a dense forest, and a lake to which she must return. That's right. The hill she meant to charge over has become a wall she can't climb. Strength left her body. For the first time, she loosened her grip on the sacred sword. And that's where it ended. It was only natural that the dream would end here, since there was nothing beyond that moment in her memories. And that is why this end cannot be rewritten. She worked so hard, and she was resented, betrayed. Nobody understood that she loved her people more than her nation. She came to be known as a merciless king. She was never rewarded or understood. On top of that crimson-stained, sword-strewn hill, the girl sat on the edge of death, isolated and betrayed. I wake to the sound of rain. I grip my spinning head and sit up. It's just before 6 o'clock. The rain patters softly outside. No, there's no doubt about it. It was Saber's past. It was the end of her life a long, long time ago. Nothing can change it now. I grit my teeth. I can hear them grinding. That's really bad for you, don't do that. I don't know why, but I'm so mad. Just thinking about it pisses me off. Her past, the fact that she didn't think anything of it, me thinking the dream was nothing before. I hate it. I don't even understand why, but it's making me angry. I don't like it. I don't like it one damn bit. No matter how you slice it, her life is unfair. So unfair. She only wanted to help people. She wanted nothing for herself. But as hard as she worked, nobody understood her. Not even at the very end. That really pisses me off. It's so unfair. That's right. If she worked harder than anyone, and she doesn't receive any reward, it's all just a bunch of crap. She should be rewarded for everything she's done. But how could that happen at this point? Just tell her she did a good job? Do I tell her how wonderful she was? Of course not. Nothing so simple could do her justice. That's right. If she's to be rewarded, the work she devoted her life to should be repaid. Altria needs happiness to match all the battles she fought. I'm out of ideas. I don't have any idea to how to make people happy. I'm so useless at this kind of thing. My entire life I've wanted to be a champion of justice, but all I ever did was lend a hand here and there. Believed everyone around me would be happy if I just helped people. Or rather, I couldn't face myself if I didn't believe that. Helping people and saving people are very much not the same thing. And if I don't understand the difference myself, I can't possibly reward Saber. Breakfast is the same as usual. I get the sense that Saber and Tosaka are pretty adaptable since they've already gotten used to Elia being here.
で、あんたはどうするのよ、シロ。残るマスターは3人。 聖杯戦争だって期限がないってわけじゃないんだから、そろそろ行動に移らないとまずいわよ。いつも後手を踏むってのも情けないし。
Osaka's right. There's nothing wrong with me physically, and Saber's completely healed. We should be done resting as of yesterday.
そうだな。けど行動を起こすにしてもそれは夜からだ。日が昇っているうちは今まで通りにする。
本気？まあ相手の情報がないんだから闇雲に出歩いても仕方がないけどさ。じゃあシロは今日もセイバーにいじめられるわけ？
I'm gonna continue my sword training with Saber. That's what we've been doing every day, and a master should always be prepared for battle.
リン、私とシロが行っているのは鍛錬です。今の発言は人聞きが悪すぎます。
いや、まあそうだな。午前中は今まで通りセイバーにしごかれるよ。
あ。
シロ、あなたまでそのように言われては私の立場がないのですが。
いや、悪いセイバー。ぼーっとしてて聞いてなかった。
ですからリンの言いぶりは乱暴すぎるという件です。まったくどうしたのですシロ。今朝は覇気が感じられません。
We've made dinner, we've made breakfast like 3 times in a row. When's fucking Rin's turn, bro? Saber may be questioning me, but there's no real bite to it. I can sense that she trusts me, which makes it even harder to meet her gaze now. Where our eyes meet, I can't help but thinking of that scene at the hill.
わかりました。後ほどカツを入れて差し上げます。それでは今日も道場で鍛錬をするでいいのですね、シロ。
ああ、頼む。イリアはどうするんだ？
私も昨日と同じだよ。雨に濡れるのは嫌いだから外に出たくないわ。
そうか。そうしてくれると助かる。できればイリアには家にいてほしいからな。
What the fuck is she here? Because she's a child. She should be dead? I think you're a little bit harsh on children.
昨日みたいにお弁当作ってくれるなら一緒に
I think everybody here is, everybody in this room currently is a little harsh on a child. She literally does not understand what she was doing was bad. And that's just bad parenting. Plus, she's not too old to like to change. Nah, that's not a rebuttal. Over a football field? That's also not a rebuttal. Name me one good reason why her being here is a problem. I don't need one. Yes, you do. I'm requiring you to be one, or I'm timing you out. She's evil. There's no such thing as evil. Okay, fine, hear me out. I'm telling you, I'm waiting for to hear you out so I can dismantle your argument. Please, by all means. This motherfucker timed himself out. For Bod watches, this motherfucker timed himself out. Goodbye. Seems like Elias took a liking to the bento yesterday. I'm a little embarrassed that something so simple pleased her, but at the same time, I'm glad to know that Ilya enjoyed the bento I made.
なんだ。それじゃあ昨日と同じってことね。
Yeah, to try to articulate my point more, this is not a situation with like Shinji, where Shinji knew what he was doing was wrong and was actively doing it to harm people and cause harm. He wasn't going to change. He did not want to change. We gave him the opportunity to do so, and he didn't. That's not the same thing as Shinji. We had to kill him. He had to get fucked up in order to stop other people from getting fucked up. He made his choice. Ilya did not make a choice. She was told to do what she was told to do everything that she was doing, and she acted accordingly. It even made a point in the game for Tashiro's observation that she doesn't understand the concept of what a servant is, even. Which is evident by her asking us to be her servant. Like, she literally does not understand what's going on as wrong, which means she has the ability to be corrected. So I don't feel comfortable about writing her off as being evil when she literally just doesn't understand.
私も調べ物があるから部屋にこもるけど、午後になったら顔を出しなさい。ちょっと話があるから。
Plus she's a kid. She's like 7 or whatever, right? So like.
調べ物ですか？
そう。セイバーなら分かってると思うけど、昨日から竜道寺の様子がおかしいのよ。あれだけ精力的にやってた魔力集めも止まってるし、何か動きがあったのは明白でしょ？まあ、残ったマスターの中で一番厄介そうなのは竜道寺のやつだしね。使いまでもこしらえて中の様子を探ってみるわ。
それでしたら探索に専念した方がいいのではないですか？無理に時間を割いてシロに享受する必要はないと思いますが。
まあそこはそれ。悪いけど我慢してちょうだい。私もね、まだ危なっかしくて放っておけないのよ。敵に殺されるのならいいけど、魔術をしくじって自滅でもされたら死として面目がないでしょ？
はい。リンの言う通りです。私はどうかしていました。リンの授業が必要ないなんてどうして思ってしまったのか。
その理由は簡単だけど、まあ知らぬが花ってことで。それじゃあ午前中の鍛錬頑張ってね。そいつ頑丈だから死なない程度に痛めつけるぐらいが最適よ。
And with that, Tosaka leaves the room.
セイバー、言っとくけど、トサカの言い分なんて本気にするなよ。あいつはセイバーの打ち込みを受けてないからあんなこと言えるんだからな。
That probably did not make her feel better, or tell her just in case. For some reason, she seems pleased.
はい、分かっています。シロの体に関してなら、私の方が熟知していますから。
She responds calmly.
どうしました？食べないのですか、イリアスフィール。
I'm trying to figure out what to name this section that I've marked off, but I'm gonna mark it as Saber for now.
昨日に比べるとまだ3割にも届いていませんが。
違うよ。こっちのは食べられないの。私辛いのはダメなんだ。
はあ、そう辛いとは思いませんが、この香辛料は鶏肉に合っています。
マスタードは嫌いなんだってば。いいから食べて。その代わりそっちのイチゴの食べてあげる。
何をするのです、イリアスフィール。こら戻しなさい。それはダメです。甘いものが欲しいなら
Do not give her pie. That is not an alternative to the food that she's eating. Ilya and Saber sit next to each other, bickering like two close sisters. It's just past noon. The three of us sit and face each other, eating lunch together, just like yesterday. Alright, it's not just lunch that's the same as yesterday. Our training today was as well. Today, though, is even more awkward. I don't know how to explain it, but something in my chest stirs whenever I face Saber, and I find myself unable to rush her with the same desperation I used to. it's not just me. Saber has been acting weird too. It used to be that she never let an opening go by. Last couple of days, she's been waiting for me to make a move, which has meant this two of us kind of ending and staring at each other for a while.
二人ともどうしたの？見ててあんまり面白くないよ。
Elia's criticism helped us get back into the swing of things. We managed to go after Saber, but it ended up pretty much the same. She batted aside my half-assed attack, but it didn't bother countering. She didn't follow up. Our World Saber lunged again, and once more was repelled. Though she again didn't counterattack. Our lackluster session ended about 10 minutes ago. Once again, it was at Saber's suggestion that we begin our lunch break. We're having the same thing we did yesterday, sandwiches. I figured it wouldn't do to make exactly the same as yesterday, so I added a few other ingredients. Everyone seems happy. Haley is excited over the colorful sandwiches, and Saber takes a deep breath, preparing for her meal. I think that's Saber's way of showing her enthusiasm. It's much rowdier than yesterday. It's raining and the hardwood floor is cold, but also feels like a picnic.
ああ、もうそこまでです、イリアスフィール。それでは服が汚れてしまう。まったく、シローの真似をして一口で食べるからそうなるのです。あなたの口は小さいのですから、もう少しおとなしく食べるべきでしょう。
分かってないのはセイバーの方よ。こういうお弁当はね、お行儀を気にする方が失礼なのよ。これはピクニックなんだから、こういう風にするのが本当なんだよね、シロー。
Elia happily munches on a sandwich, and Saber reluctantly wipes Elia's mouth with a napkin.
くすぐったいってば、セイバー。
Well, I didn't see this coming. Saber and Elia seem to have warmed up to each other.
驚いた。拒否しないのですか、イリアスフィール。
なんで？私、優しくされるの好きだよ。うん。他のやつが私に触れたら殺すけど、セイバーは
We should probably correct that behavior now, actually.
それに、今は同じお弁当を食べる仲間だもの。セイバーが私のこと好きなら、私もセイバーのことは好きよ。
It's so simple for Elia. Saber, clearly taken aback, stares at Elia dumbfounded. Even I, just as a spectator as this unfolds, am caught off guard by Elia's smile.
何？セイバーは楽しくないの？
いえ、それは。
私は楽しいよ。外は雨で、ここはこんな殺風景な場所で、欲しかったものは何もない。けど、こうしていると嬉しいの。一人でいるより、ずっとずっとあったかいでしょ？なのに、セイバーは楽しくないの
？Something in Elia's smile must have struck Saber. Saber sighs deeply and looks back at her.
そうですね。私もこうしているのはとても楽しい。
She sounds bright. And then Saber smiles in a way I've never seen from her. I don't know why, but I'm getting emotional. That smile was great. It was for herself and herself alone. It's not the usual smile I see from her whenever she's protecting someone. It's a smile of sheer happiness from her, for her, from her.
シロ、どうしました？そんな顔して。何かいいことでもあったのですか？
いや、別に何も。って、今は変な顔してたか、俺。
うん、してたわ。お父さんみたいな顔。遠くからこっちを見守ってますって風なの。私、そういう顔は嫌いよ。
Why? I don't understand what she's talking about, but I guess I was just smiling.
そうか。まあ、いいことがあったからな。ついにやけちまったのかもしれない。
はあ、いいことですか？
そうだよ。 セイバーは今みたいな笑顔のがいい。それが見れてよかったって。
He really okay.
難しいですね。そんなことが嬉しいのですか、シローは。
だな。俺セイバーのそういう顔を見るのが好きみたいだ。
Saber nods, though she doesn't seem convinced. And then, I don't know what came over her, but she smiles and lifts her head.
そうですか。それでは逆ですね、シロー。
逆って何が？
私はあなたが笑顔でいてくれた方が嬉しい。あなたが笑っていられるなら私はそれで十分です。
Larry, thank you for being officially first. I can't meet Saber's gaze. A smile wouldn't make anyone lightheaded. I managed to calm myself down and glance sidelong at Saber. She calmly resumes eating her picnic notch. Nothing to worry about there. There should be nothing to worry about yet something is bothering me.
私はあなたが笑顔でいてくれた方が嬉しい。
How you doing, life? In that smile I saw for the first time, it seemed like she was contradicting herself. I listened to the rain in Tosaka's room. Today, under the pretense of magecraft lesson, I performed yet another physical examination like yesterday. She gave me more medicine, then checked all my magic circuits. It's not that I mind doing this, I just don't like the feeling that I'm not doing anything productive. She tells me not to move so she can see what happens to me, but that doesn't mean I can't talk.
Tosaka, ちょっといいかな?
You're okay? Just okay? I'll call for her as I sit in my meditative pose.
いいけど何よ。
セイバーのことなんだけど、なんて言ったらいいかわからないんだが。
I realize I haven't thought this through at all. It's not even a question of what can I do for Saber. I haven't even thought about what I want to do with her. You want to fuck her, that's what you want.
あいつ何がしたいのかなって。考えてみれば、あいつが自分から何かやるって今までなかっただろ?
Tosaka should respond with, why don't you ask her?
セイバーが何を考えているかわからない？
いや、そういうわけじゃないんだ。ただ、あんまりにも無欲すぎるのがわからない。
Why don't you ask her?
そう、そこがどうするべきなのかわからないんだ。
Welcome back, Dizzy.
まあそうよね。セイバーが自発的にやったことってあんたを守ることだけだもの。サーバントとしては当たり前だけど、あそこまで徹底しているとわからなくもなるわ。でもだからといって無欲ってわけはないでしょ。セイバーだって自分の目的のためにあなたを守っているんだから。
I completely forgot her reason for even becoming a servant. Is that a choice?
そうか。セイバーの目的は聖杯を手に入れることだもんな。目的がないってわけじゃないんだ。
Not a holy grail will grant its possessor's wish. That means Saber at least has a wish she wants granted. I don't know what it is, but she wants it enough to become a servant. So it must have some hope of saving her. Like, for example, she's in her... Huh? She's here in this time period, and the power of the Holy Grail can help her so she can stay here and live a second life. That sounds like something you want. And she would have to wish for something that big just to make up for all the suffering and tragedy she's endured.
なんだ、話は簡単じゃないか。
気持ち悪いわね。いきなり元気になっちゃって。今の話、そんなに面白かった？
ああ、元気が出た。そうだよな。そうでなくちゃあそこまで懸命に戦うもんか。セイバーは何より自分の望みのために戦わなくちゃいけないんだから。
I nod to myself. Tosaka, on the other hand, seems utterly bewildered, as she should be.
エミヤ君、 喜んでるところ悪いけど、それはあなたの早とちりよ。セイバーは自分のためになんか戦わないわ。あなただって分かってるんじゃない？セイバーはそういうタイプじゃないわ。彼女が聖杯を求める理由は決して自分のためじゃないって。
何を根拠に。
It's not that hard of a conclusion to come to. Can't even ask that. I know. She met her final moments alone because she didn't have any desires for herself. So Saber wouldn't seek her own salvation now. But still, I hoped otherwise, even for a brief moment, so I pushed my distorted desire on. My conversation trails off. Just as I think this awkward silence is going to continue forever.
つまんない話だけどね。あーちゃんもあんたと似たようなことを言ってたわ。
は？アーチャーってあのアーチャー？
そう。私もね、あいつに聞いたのよ。あんたの望みは何なのかって。そしたらあいつ、なんて言ったと思う？
あいつの望みって言われても困る。
I never knew a single thing about him. Archer once declared that we were bound to be enemies anyway, so he made no effort to communicate with Saber or me. And yet, he may have been cynical, but he didn't seem the sort to have stupid objectives in mind.
これがね、聞いたら笑うわよ。望みは何よと聞いたら、あいつったらこう言ったの。
そうだな。恒久的な世界平和というのはどうだ？
もう呆れを通り越して爆笑したわけ。
That is cute.
そしたらあいつ、やはり笑われたか。まあ他人の手による救いなど意味はない。今のは笑い話にしておこう。なんて言っていじけちゃってさ。
I thought he was gonna say he didn't have a wish.
なんかね、ああいうやつだから英霊になんてなっちゃって、私みたいな小娘に刺激されちゃうんだなとか思ったわ。
I see. He didn't look it, but he was a great, proud knight in his own right.
けどね、間違わないで。聖杯が本当に全ての願いを叶えるのなら、
You'd be stripping people of free
恒久
will.
的な世界平和なんて最悪の願いよ。要するに、それって何もないってことでしょ。争いのない世界なんて死んでるだけよ。物事は動いてないと腐るだけなんだから。
I would agree.
それ、アーチャーにも言ったのか？
Actually, you guys have seen me play some SMT games where the law ended. We see the law endings at the end of them, and basically that's what happens, and I hate it every time. It feels gross. I don't necessarily like the chaos endings, but I feel more comfortable with that.
言ったわよ。そしたらあいつ、それが賢者の考えだ。私も同意見だが、今でもこれだけは愚者の夢を守っているのだ。だってさ。まあそれはいいから、それじゃあ他の望みはあるのかって言ったら、あるにはあるが聖杯で叶えるほどのものでもなし、私の分は君に譲ろうとかなんとか。キザでしょ？あいつきっと生前は女ったらしだったに違いないわ。
なんかそんなイメージはなかったけどな。けどその話がどうかしたのか、トーサが。
別にサーバントにもいろいろいるってことを話しただけ。
Is that so? Well, I guess it was good for me to know, so it was at least kinda helpful.
じゃあ次はこっちの番ね。まあ私もセイバーに関することなんだけど。
そういえば朝方言ってたな。話したいことがあるとかなんとか。
ええ、大したことじゃないんだけど少し気になって。今更になるんだけど、エミヤ君はアーサー王の伝説を知ってる？
The Legend of King Arthur. I've been reminded of it more than enough in the past few days.
人並みには知ってる。 まあ、朝王が女の子だったなんてことは知らなかったが。
He first said that nobody knew
そう
that.
ね。けど性別に関してはどうでもいいのよ。
That is also true.
別にアーサー王が女の子だったとしても、伝説そのものに変更を加える必要はないでしょ。アーサー王が周りの人間を騙し通していれば、女性であっても男性として扱われるんだから。幸いアーサー王にはマーリンっていう魔術師がついてたしね。
That was Merlin, the fucking
ってい
caster.
う悪魔じめたやつだから、アーサー王の性別を偽装したり、生まれないはずの子供を用意するってのもお手の物だったんでしょ。
ああ、そうだろうな。それで？
だから私が問題にしているのは伝説と今のセーバーの食い違いよ。ねえエミヤくん、あなたはエクスカリバーがどういうものか知ってる？
Excalibur from the United King. I'm a looking for her. I'm a going to California.
やっぱりそんなことだろうと思ったわ。
The cycle looks oddly triumphant.
俺なんかおかしなこと言ったか？
言ったわよ。あなたもアーサー王と同じ間違いをしたってこと。マーリンがいたら未熟者ってどやされてるわ。
だからなんでさ。岩に刺さった剣ってのはエクスカリバーじゃないんだよな。あっちの剣は途中で折れてしまって、その後に湖の妖精から譲り受けた剣があって、それがエクスカリバーなんだろ？
そうそう。エクスカリバーをアーサー王が受け取った時にね、マーリンはこう問いかけるの。
Before that, your fun fact for the day is that Caliburn and Excalibur is technically the same word. It's just a different I think it's just a different way of saying it. Let me double check that one actually. There we go. The old French version of the name is Excalibur, while the name in Latin is Caliburnus, shortened to Caliburn. There you go. It's just based on this different language.
おうよ、あなたがお気に召したのはどちらの方ですかな？剣か、それとも鞘ですか？アーサー王はためらいもなく剣の方だと答えるんだけど、マーリンは叱責するの。お間違えめさるな。剣は敵を撃つものですが、鞘はあなたを守るもの。その鞘を身につけている限り、あなたは血を流すこともなく、負傷することもない。真に大事とすべきは剣ではなく鞘なのです。
Tosaka skillfully acts out the parts of King Arthur and Merlin.
気合入ってるな、トサカ。それで、お前何が言いたいんだ？
何って、ここまで聞いてわからない？つまり、アーサー王は不死者なの。エクスカリバーっていうのは、攻守ともに無敵の宝具なのよ。
I don't think that's true.
だから、本当ならセイバーは傷を負ってもすぐに治るはずだってこと。
トサカ、実際セイバーは傷を負っても治ってるんだが。
それはそうだけど、セイバーの自己回復はセイバーのバカみたいに膨大な魔力を使った力技にしか見えないっていうか、ともかく伝説のエクスカリバーの鞘とは違う気がするのよ。
なるほど。トサカがそう言うんならそれは正しいんだろう。ならこっちから質問。アーサー王は不死者だって言うけど、それならどうしてアーサー王は死んだんだよ。伝説の最後はアーサー王の死じゃないか。
Do you not know the answer? Tosaka's mouth drops open. After freezing for a few seconds, she grinds her teeth and looks away. Actually, I don't know the answer to this. Let me Google it. He was mortally wounded by his nephew Mordred in the Battle of Kamlan. But like we just saw the Battle of Kamlan in the dream sequence thingy where she won, so wait, hold on. I think I found it, but in a dream, Arthur was warned not to fight Mordred right away, so he sent messengers into his camp to try to negotiate. During their talks, one of Mordred's men was bitten by an adder. As he drew his sword to kill it, the sun glinted off his blade. Both armies mistook it as a sign that someone had drawn their sword for a fight, and a great battle began. The battle raged all day, and by nightfall, it was down to every last man to fight. In the commotion, Arthur had dropped Excalibur and its scabbard. Seeing Mordred, he picked up a spear and charged at him. Mordred charged back with his sword. The sword came forward and cleaved Arthur's skull just as he drove his spear into his son's hateful heart. As Arthur lay dying, his last request was that the sword of Excalibur and the scabbard be thrown back into the lake from whence they came. That's lame as fuck, actually. How did you drop the sword and the scabbard? The scabbard's literally attached to your hip. So even if you dropped the sword, how did you drop the scabbard?
そうだった。エクスカリバーの鞘は途中で敵に盗まれたんだ。
A rookie mistake right there. I've forgotten, but according to the legend, King Arthur's fate was sealed the moment the king lost the all-important sheath.
で、納得いったか、遠坂？
言ったわよ。笑い物にしたいならすればいいわ。
She doesn't mean that. I can tell she's ready to kick me in the head the moment I laugh at her.
納得いったんならいい。けど、どうしてそんなことを気にしたんだよ。セイバーが傷つかないかどうかなんて、お前には関係ないだろ？
うるさいわね。何よ、ちょっとそうだったら無敵だなーなんて舞い上がっただけじゃない。私だってね、たまには間違えることぐらいあるわよ。
This is a tough one. Would there be any benefit in me pointing out that she makes mistakes a lot, not just sometimes? By the time the sun sets, the rain stopped completely. Based on the conversation during breakfast, we headed to town to look for the other master.
その前に確かめておかないと。
Check on Saber's intentions. What is her purpose in fighting?
と言っても、正面から聞いてもダメだな。できるだけさりげなく聞き出さないと。
This main character is proving my point that I think everybody in Japan has social anxiety. Which wouldn't actually be that surprising given their culture. I had myself up a bit and then pushed to my feet. The living room seems like a good starting place. I'm going to leverage the peaceful pre-dinner mood to try to get through Saber's stubborn nature.
例えばの話だけど、もし聖杯戦争に勝ち残れたとしたら、どうしようか。
So much for casual. I thought about it a lot and couldn't come up with anything smooth, so blunt it is.
え？は？
All three of them offer more than less the same response, though with slightly different expressions.
だから、勝った後のことだよ。聖杯を手に入れたらどうするかって話。
そんなの説明されなくてもわかるけど、どういう風の吹き回しよ。あんたがそんなこと言い出すなんて。
Definitely I don't know, but they do seem to share the opinion on the subject. I guess this is kind of weird to bring up out of nowhere, but I have to play dumb for now.
まあいや、ただの思いつきだ。ほら、残ったサーバントはあと3人なんだから、そういうことを考えてもおかしくないだろ。数が減って明白に終わりが見えてきたんだから。
まあ言われてみればそうよね。いくら四郎だってこの状況ならそれぐらいは考えるか。好きで始めたことじゃないって言っても命を張ってる以上は報酬ぐらい気になるだろうし。
そうそう、一応それぐらいは考える。
I'm glad Tosaka likes to focus on the reason for things. Tosaka will allow for the possibility of anything that seems logical, which is really one of her better qualities. This is just something I brought up to discuss, though. But that's not true. It's just the logic is flawed. Or wrong, rather. I'll try to be as natural as possible with this.
そうね。私は勝つことしか考えてなかったから、聖杯に叶えてもらうような目的はないわ。とりあえず聖杯を手に入れるけど、その後のことは考えてなかったな。
So she's fighting because she doesn't want to lose. I figured that was the case, but didn't know for sure until she said it herself.
切れた。一番ものを考えていそうで、実は一番考えてないのよね、リンは。言うじゃない。じゃあそういうあんたはどうなのよ、イリアスフィール。そんなの知らない。聖杯は私のだから誰にも渡すなって言われただけよ。もともと私のものなんだから、そんなものに興味あるわけないじゃない。
What a spoiled brat thing to say.
要するに聖杯より聖杯戦争の方が楽しいってこと？
She had Berserker. That's not even like that big of a stretch.
当然よ。私は勝つためだけに来たんだもの。聖杯の使い道なんてどうでもいいわ。
They're two peas in a pod. The two stare at each other in silence, seem to be coming to some sort of understanding. Saber doesn't say anything. She probably doesn't intend to join the conversation. No matter how much she resists, I still have to ask.
二人の目的はなんとなく分かった。
I'll try to turn as naturally as possible.
じゃあセイバーは？
She's been quiet this whole time. Saber doesn't reply. Sensing that something's amiss, Tosaka and Elia stop to turn towards Saber. Sound stretches out for maybe a minute.
今更語るまでもありませんが、聖杯を手に入れるのは私の義務です。聖杯がどれほどの許容範囲を持っているかは知らない。ですがそれが聖杯である限り、私は聖杯を手に入れなくてはなりません。
That doesn't answer the question.
そして無論、聖杯が私の望みを叶えられるなら、
You very specifically did not answer the question, actually. There it is. Saber's just said she's going to wish, she has a wish of her own.
そうか。で、その望みって何なんだ？
I try to calm my racing heart and keep it composed as I ask. Saber doesn't answer. Fine, that's fine. If she can't answer, chances are good. It's because her wish is a selfish one. Knowing Saber, she may hesitate to reveal her wish to anyone if she was wishing for something selfish. And I think I'd rather she keep quiet than try to make something up. I can feel myself trying to back away from the question I asked.
何？それってそんなに難しいこと？サーバントの望みは現世に蘇ることだっておじいさまは言ってたわ。英霊たちは二度目の生を得るために聖杯を求めるんだって。セイバーだってそうじゃないの？
Saber tricks her head up. That's what she wanted. There would be no problem. Which means...
いいえ、二度目の生に関心はありません。 私の目的は聖杯を手に入れることのみです。もともとこの身は聖杯を手に入れる代償としてサーバントになったのですから。
I figured that much. Someone who took an oath and drew her sacred sword wouldn't seek a second life.
ちょっと待って、聖杯を手に入れることと引き換えにサーバントになった？それって英霊になる時の契約のこと？
はい。この身をサーバントとする交換条件として私は聖杯を求めたのです。
じゃあ何？あなたって聖杯を手に入れるために呼び出されたサーバントじゃなくて、聖杯を手に入れるために自分からサーバントになったっていうの？
Is that really that odd? Tosaka stares at Saber. She tilts her head, confused.
つまりセイバーは英霊だから呼び出されたんじゃなくて、自分からこの戦いに参加したってこと？けどサーバントである以上英霊として祀られているんだから、自分からこっちの世界に関わるなんてできっこないわよね。じゃあセイバーはサーバントのルールから大きく外れてるってわけでもないし。もうちょっと待ってね、今整理するから。
いいえ、整理するまでもありません。リンが言ったことは正しい。私は他のサーバントとは違います。私はまだ完全にサーバントになったわけではないのですから。
完全にサーバントになっていない？
What does that mean? Well, first off, what does it mean to become a servant? Saber just said she agreed to become a servant as the price she has to pay to obtain the Holy Grail, which means she's not answering the question, is what it means.
ちょっと待ってくれ。サーバントっていうのはまさか何かを手に入れた代償として無理やり戦わされてるっていうのか？
いいえ、それは違います。もともとサーバントというのはこの聖杯戦争だけの特別な使い魔です。サーバントとは英霊の特性を利用した召喚魔術。元は英霊なのですから、サーバントにパンを得た代わりに労働をするという決まりはありません。
そうね、サーバントシステムってのはもともと守護精霊である英霊を利用したものだもの。元からあるものを使ってるわけだから、サーバント側にもマスター側にも代償として支払うものはない。けどサーバントになる前、人間から英霊になるには代償行為が必要だって聞いたことがある。英霊っていうのは人間の守護者でしょ？彼らは死した後も人間のために働いて、人の世の滅亡を水面下で防ぐのだとか。で、そういった守護者になるには生前まだ英雄として現役だった頃に何かと取引をしなくてはならない。それが英霊の契約。世界に死後の自分を明け渡す儀式。交換条件によって財を得た者が英雄となり、英雄としてやりたいことをやった後、死後はサーバントとしてもらった財を返す。つまり英雄になるために借金をして、死んだ後は英霊になることで借金を返すってこと。サーバントっていうのはその返済金額を横から私たちにかすめ取られて使役されてるってわけ。
つまり何かとの取引で人間は英雄になって、英雄にしてもらったお返しとして死後は使い魔として使役されるのか？じゃあセイバーが英霊になった交換条件が
The Holy Grail. Since Saber attained the Holy Grail in her lifetime, the price she has to pay in serving as a heroic spirit, a sort of guardian, even after death.
それこそおかしい。セイバーは聖杯が目的だって言った。けどそれはとっくに手に入れてるはずだ。セイバーは聖杯と引き換えに英雄になったんだから。
いいえ、シロ。私はまだ聖杯を手にしてはいないのです。アルトリア、アーサー王の望みは 生きているうちに聖杯を手に入れることだった。私は死ぬ前に聖杯を手に入れなければならなかった。そのためにもし聖杯が手に入るなら死後は守護者になっても良いと条件を飲んだのです。リンの言う通り、人間は英雄になるために世界と契約をし、人間以上の力を授かり、その代償として死後の自分を売り渡します。ですが私は英雄になるときに世界の後ろ盾を必要としなかった。幸いなことにアーサー王は英雄になるための支援を必要としなかったのです。
He didn't need any help to become a hero, so Saber became a hero on her own.
けどあなたは英霊としてここにいる。
Wouldn't that imply that she's not a heroic spirit
ア
at
ーサー
all?
王は英雄になった後で世界に違う交換条件を求めたってこと？
はい。私は最後の時にどうしても聖杯が必要になった。聖杯がなければ我慢できなかった。叶えなくてはいけない願いができてしまった。
But you're still not answering the question. What do you want to wish for?
だから英霊の契約をしたのです。私の手に聖杯が握られるなら死後は英霊となってあらゆるもののために剣を取ろう。
Are you really just saying that you want the Holy Grail for the sake of having the Holy Grail? But you want to wish, right? In our last moment, she wished for the Holy Grail's miracle. Now I understand her feelings. I don't! The blood-soaked hill. The swords standing as gravestones, the bodies of so many knights. A lone king whose reign ended in betrayal. She didn't deserve the end she met. Even if she hadn't wish of her, but she must have thought, I can't die here. This isn't the end that I want. And that's why there is no shame in using the power of the Holy Grail to prolong her life.
そう。つまり死後の自分を売り払ってまで聖杯を手に入れられる手段を取ったのね。
But that's counterintuitive.
けどセイバー、あなたの出した条件っていうのは生きているうちに聖杯を手に入れる。
You're not alive anymore, so you just lose now, don't you? You've already lost your win condition.
はい。私が生きているうちに聖杯探索は成し得なかった。私はアーサー王は最後まで聖杯を手に入れることができなかったのです。ですがそれでは契約が成り立ちません。世界が私をサーバントにするにはアーサー王が生きているうちに聖杯を与えねばならない。ですから
アーサー王は聖杯を手に入れるまで死なない。いいえ、死ぬことができない。それじゃああなた
It means she's still alive.
はい。アーサー王と呼ばれていた私は死を迎える一瞬で止まっているはずです。時間軸から見れば私はとうに滅びているでしょう。ですがそれでは契約が果たせない。アーサー王は死の直前でサーバントとして召喚され聖杯を手に入れた後死ななければならないのです。
時間が止まってるんじゃなくて時間に止まってる状態か。あなたがサーバントとして何度戦いを繰り返しても構わない。最終的には聖杯を手に入れて契約を果たすことは決まっているんだから、
そうです。いつかは聖杯を手に入れ私は契約を果たす。だからこそ英霊になる前からいずれ英霊化が決定しているという条件であらゆる時代に召喚される。
So, to recap here, Saber is alive, quote unquote, and her contract for being a heroic spirit is that when she obtains the Holy Grail, she will fucking die, because her goal is obtain the Holy Grail while she's still alive. So, for her, she does have a wish, but the wish is kind of irrelevant because the moment she obtains the Holy Grail, she dies. This is complicated.
それはこの町の聖杯だけではありません。 聖杯が手に入る可能性があるならば、私はどの戦場にも召喚される。そうしていつかは聖杯を手に入れ、私の望みを叶えた時こそ、死の直前で止まっていた私の時間は進みます。
Well, actually, now I think about it, the way that she's explaining it here, that doesn't necessarily mean that she will die. It just means that her life will continue. So she has the possibility of dying. Unless she was supposed to die the moment the time stopped, but whatever.
アーサー王は最後の時を迎え、聖杯を手に入れた代償として、こうして英霊となるのでしょう。
死の直前で覚めない夢を見ているようなものか。今回の聖杯戦争もセイバーにとっては夢の一つ。
Basically, this is a big ass paradox.
そして夢から覚めるのは聖杯を手に入れた時だけ。
Not a time loop, a self-contained loop. She's alive as long as she has the will to obtain the Holy Grail. But until she gets the Holy Grail, or when she gets the Holy Grail, she will die. And then become a heroic spirit to obtain the Holy Grail. But she's acting as a heroic spirit now. So, it's not a paradox as much as it is just kind of, I'm gonna use the word that Lynx uses, incestuous. It's literally folding in on itself. But to that end, her goal does not matter because, or her wishes does not matter because she can never obtain it if she's supposed to die the moment she gets the Holy Grail.
リンはシローが未熟だから私を霊体化できないと言いましたね。けれどそれは違う。私は今だし霊体にもなれないのです。半端な扱いですが、これでも位置づけは聖者ですから。前回の聖杯戦争でも私はそうだった。
Saber's tone is apologetic. She feels bad for laying the blame on for her not being able to enter spirit form on my inaptitude. I don't care about that. But there's something I need to ask.
Saber, 未だ死者じゃないってどういうことだ？聖杯を手に入れるまで死なないってのは分かった。話の流れから言って、アーサー王の時代からずっと生き続けてるわけじゃないってのも分かる。けど、そうでなかったら今のセイバーは何なんだ？本体の分身ってわけでもないんだろ
う。はい。こちらに呼び出される英霊というのは全て本体の分身のようなものですが、私はまだその位置に達していません。聖杯を手に入れるまでは死の直前に止まったままで呼び出されている。リンの言った通り、アーサー王は時間という大河の上で停止している。私はその位置から前か後ろかに飛んで聖杯を求めた後、止まっている場所に戻っているのでしょう。
Try to diagram it in my head. It's pretty simple once I visualize it. Okay. This is what I needed. Alright, so Arthur is displaced every time they Arthur is displaced every time they are summoned for a Holy Grail war, and then after they get the Holy Grail they go back to where they were, and then Arthur dies. But like, the moment you obtain the Holy Grail, you do so. This is so weird. Like, what's the point of making a deal like this? Quite the. I believe the term is Faustian bargain. Let me double check, make sure I'm using that correctly. No, Faustian bargain is just a deal with the devil, but this just doesn't. You don't gain anything from this. You just extend your life a little bit longer. It's pretty simple once I visualize it. King Arthur is stopped in time at the moment before she dies, but that doesn't matter to the wider flow of time. It continues on all the way to the present. jumps to whatever time she's needed, then returns to her own frozen moment in time after she completes her duty. If she manages to obtain the Holy Grail on one of these times she visits, she'll be swept back to the proper flow of time and die just as she does in the history we know. Maybe that's how heroic spirits work. When they die, they're transferred back to a sort of nexus where the flow of time stops, or maybe just isn't affected. And then, when they are summoned, they're taken to that point in time and then disappear without ever returning. That's probably what it meant by heroic spirits being doubles. Kind of like a clone made from the original cells. The heroic spirit, which just completely retains the abilities and memories they had when they were alive, appear in this world and gain more knowledge, but it's all useless. They have no means to return to their original body, and instead just disappear. And so, no matter how many times or in how many different eras they are summoned, there will never be any inconsistencies about the heroic spirit's memories. From them, which is why she remembers the previous Holy Grail War. But the moment that person becomes a heroic spirit, they will never change. Even if they obtain new knowledge, they will just disappear once their rule is over. So in that sense, Saber is not a complete servant. After each time she's summoned, she eventually returns to her own time. She goes back to the moment where she's about to die on the blood-soaked hill.
ちょっと待った。じゃあ何？今回聖杯を手に入れたら元の時代に戻ってその時代で聖杯を使うってこと？
No, she just dies. That's just it.
それって過去の改ざんじゃない。時間旅行にしても平行世界の運営にしてもそれは魔法の領域よ。そんなのできるわけがないわ。
それを可能とするのが聖杯でしょう。そうして聖杯さえ使えるのならば、私はサーバントとなってもいいと契約したのです。聖杯を使うことでアルトリアという人物が消え去ろうとも、今の私が英霊となることを代償として。
Saber is so matter of fact about it. It doesn't sound right though. Using the Holy Grail to grant a wish is fine, but why would that mean Altria has to disappear?
なんだよそれ。聖杯を使うことでアルトリアが消える？ふざけるなよ、そんなの。セイバー、お前は自分を。
I see the image of a girl dying on the hill all alone.
自分を救うために聖杯を使うんじゃないのかよ。
No, she's not.
なぜそのようなことを言うのです？
What is your wish?
私の望みは国を滅びから救うことだけなのですが。
I can feel my expression tensing up. I thought I knew Saber's wish, but now my head is spinning and I feel it throwing up. And yet, I try to push air from my lungs to get that one word out.
なぜも何もないでしょう。私は国を守れなかった。国を守るために王となったのに、その責務を果たせなかった。その時に思ったのです。岩の剣は間違えて私を選んでしまったのではないかと。
That's ridiculous. Why would she think that?
いいえ、その迷いは常に私の中にありました。私は王にふさわしくないのではないか。本当に選ばれるべき英雄は他にいたのではないのかと。あの時、政権を抜いてしまった時、国を救えなかった私より国を救えたはずのふさわしい王がいたはずです。だからもし聖杯の力で王の選定をやり直すことができるなら、その時に戻ればきっと。
She's saying that her nation wouldn't be destroyed if she was able to go back to that moment? I feel faint. I'm really angry at Saber for wishing for such a ridiculous thing. A feeling that passes in an instant, though. that feeling passes it. I probably look like a deer in headlights. Isn't it obvious? Saber's wish is not for herself, and on top of that, she wishes for her own elimination. She exists because she became king by drawing the sacred sword. To pretend that never happened means she simply wouldn't exist. Let's say that we use the Holy Grail to grant her wish. Altria would never become king. She would live in the timeline where she is an ordinary knight. But then what would happen to Saber I know? Even if it's only temporary, she already exists as a heroic spirit, and if her wish is granted, she will continue on. But as a being meant only for fighting. She's already paid the price for obtaining the Holy Grail, so the Saber I know will continue existing even if Altria never becomes the king. She will be cut from the past and the future. She will always and only ever be the lonely knight dying on the blood-soaked hill. It is stupid, yes. I won't allow it. There is no hope of salvation there. Even if she was able to do it all over, and there is really a better king, and her nation did manage to last longer, if she herself saved, it'd all be lies. Even if it made everyone around her happy. I can't just let past 10 years she fought through be a lie. It's more than 10 years, but...
そんなことはできない。やり直しなんてできないし、しても意味はないんだ。セイバー。
シロ。
そんなことに聖杯を使うな。
Well, I mean, it's too late. She's already in the fucking contract, dog.
聖杯はセイバーが戦って手に入れるんだろ。なら、セイバーは自分のためにその奇跡を使うべきだ。
ですから、私は自分のために使うと言っているではありませんか。私、アルトリアは王としての責務を果たさなければ。
How does she not understand?
そんなのはお前はもう十分すぎるくらいに果たしてるじゃないか。セイバーはあんなにも戦ってきた。裏切られても怖がられても負けなかった。あの丘で最後まで剣から手を離さなかった。だっていうのになんで死んじまった後もお前だけがそんな誓いを守らなくちゃいけないんだ。
Saber looks bewildered. Too late to regret what I said. I shouldn't have just blurted out that I've been dreaming about Saber's past. A heavy silence hangs between us. I can't think of what to say. Even I can tell speaking up would just make things worse right now. But I just can't keep quiet.
Saber, 俺、頑張ったやつが報われないのは嫌なんだ。
It's wrong. It's not fair. I get that it's childish, but I want to believe that humans can find happiness if they really work for it. I was once like that.
他のマスターには負けない。聖杯は必ず手に入れる。だから、セイバーは自分の望みを叶えてくれ。それなら俺は、この馬鹿げた戦いに初めて意味を見出せる。
That's the conclusion I reached. I don't know what the Holy Grail is, nor do I know if it's even something you should try to obtain. But if it could save Saber even a little, then I'll try to go all out for her. The sound of heavy bells rings out and the house suddenly goes dark. We're being attacked? The air changes immediately. The lights go out, but Saber, Tosaka, and I don't say a word. We try to gauge our surroundings with our other senses. The loud ringing stops and the living room goes silent. And yet, a soft rustling sound rustles through the house.
今の警告音、この屋敷の結界?
I nod in silence. It's the same sound as when Lancer broke in. Then that can only mean... The sounds are getting closer, louder. Something is sliding against or across something else. It sounds like a swarm of bugs rushing toward the light. The only place that sound doesn't seem to be coming from is in the living room. It's not even been a minute since the lights went out and we're surrounded on all sides by that sound. There's just too many of them. Whatever people might say, I do have some knowledge of mages and magecraft. Even if I can sense that there's a lot of magical energy coming from a ton of people or things around... What? Even I can sense that there's a lot of magical energy coming from a ton of people or things surrounding the house. 20 at least. But they also seem weirdly light. I don't sense any human will or intellect. The flapping sound seems to be coming from enemy puppets.
なんだ、やっぱり来たんだ。今まで散々私から逃げ回ってたくせに、バーサーカーがいなくなったら飛んでくるんだもの。ほんと、現金なサーバントね。
Ellie speaks up, but made into flapping sounds. She, unlike the three of us, is strangely calm.
イリア、わかるのか？
当然でしょ。私にわからないサーバントなんていないわ。外にいるのはキャスターで、何かいっぱい引き連れてきてる。なんだ、竜の歯でくくったゴーレムみたい。
So good. Ellie is so casual about this. And just then, the sound stops. I grab the wooden sword in the living room. Saber and Tosaka seem to be waiting for me to make a move. Saber and I both will head out. That seems like a good way to die. Leave Caster to Saber and protect the two here. Chart? Well, seems something's happening. Saber can take care of Caster. There's no servant left that Saber can't defeat, and Saber should be good against Caster. Her strong magic resistance should make her a good choice against Caster, who is a mage.
Saber, 言ってもらえるか？
はい。キャスターならば、私一人で行くべきでしょう。シローの判断は正しい。
よし、ここは俺たちだけで持ちこたえる。セイバーはキャスターを倒すことだけに専念してくれ。
A strange sound reaches me just as I finish speaking. It is the sound of Saber tearing through Caster's familiars that now that she jumped it. Wait, is it the sound of... Why is this worded so strangely? Is it the sound of Saber tearing through Caster's familiars now that she's jumped out into the hall?
まだ増える。20、30、40。ちょっと、いくら雑魚だって言ってもこれじゃ。
問題ないわ。竜河兵なんて模造品で、竜の化身であるセイバーを倒せるはずがないもの。こんなの何百体いようと、セイバーの敵じゃないわ。
The sounds retreat into the distance. The horde I felt surrounding the house is gone. I assume Saber defeated them all. Like Elias said, Caster's familiars can't stop Saber. They must not have made it in here because they couldn't get past Saber.
さすがね。セイバー、キャスターを見つけたわ。
You can just sense this?
キャスターのやつ、急いで使い魔を引き戻してるけど、これで終わりかな。
If Elias is right, then the battle should be over soon. Saber won't lose in a single combat. She shouldn't have any trouble cutting Caster down since she doesn't have to worry about protecting us.
浮かない顔ね。すぐに決着がつくっていうのに納得いかない顔してるけど。
そういう遠坂だってどこか気に食わないって顔だけどな。
まあね、ちょっとうまくいきすぎてるから。
Yeah, I was thinking that myself. Are we about to get jumped by someone else?
セイバーの強さがキャスターの予想以上だったにしろ、何の用心もなしに自分から仕掛けてくるかなって。
She's right. Caster came here willingly. If she knows that, then there's a mass. If she knows that there's a mass here, she should already know which servant is here too. So she knows that Saber is here and that Saber is a bad matchup for her. If she knew that, then she still attacked. That means.
音が止んだ。イリア、キャスターの気配は？
消えたわ。使い魔はまだ残ってるけど、残っているサーバントはセイバーだけよ。
That's bad, isn't it?
使い魔が残ってる。白、腕。
I looked down at my left arm. What the fuck just happened? I don't understand what just happened. My command spell, proof of my contract with Saber, is gone.
シロ、霊樹使った？
いや、俺は霊樹なんて使ってない。
What the fuck just happened? Saber should have defeated Caster easily. So then why did my command spell disappear? No, my command spells disappearing doesn't mean my contract is severed. I shouldn't be panicking. No, that's exactly what that means. Command spells are there to control servants who may act against their master's orders. I haven't needed to use them for Saber. So even if I lose my command spell, Saber and I should still be able to get along fine. That's not the issue.
帰ってきたわ。もうすぐここにやってくる。
What? What are those two doing? Saber just coming back, so why do they seem so worried? The door opens. Saber comes in. Saber's gripping her chest. She seems to be in pain.
Saber!
I rush to her. We're about to die. I don't hear Tosaka's warning. All I see is that Saber is injured.
大丈夫か、Saber？どこ？
ダメ！逃げてしろ！セイバー、やめ！
A single stroke, my body is cut in half from the shoulder to the waist. So quick as a slash that for a moment I don't even feel pain. My mysterious healing abilities don't seem to work against the attack that's from Saber's sword, because it was coming from Saber. The world starts to go dark as I die. More than my fear of death, I find myself wondering why Saber attacked me. Okay. What the fuck just happened?
「どんなに優勢だろうと油断しちゃいけないっていうことかな。
No.
シローはマスターなんだから、セイバーちゃんのちょっとつ猛進なところを諌めてあげないとダメだぞ。
No.
違うわ。今回悪いのはセイバーでしょ。キャスターなんかの罠にかかっちゃって気が抜けてる証拠だわ。
No.
大方シロを意識して一人でいいところを見せようとしたんでしょうね。なのにシロを殺しちゃうなんてセイバーのクラスも落ちたものだわ。それにやれ最強って言うけど勝ち星は少ないし、体は小さいし、レディーとしての魅力も足りないし、なんかセイバーって大ぐらいなだけのパワーキャラって感じ。
イリアちゃん、ストップストップ。セイバーちゃんも反省してるし、こう傷口に塩塗りたくるのはまずいでござるよ、武士として。
そっか、武士道は色なし恋なし情けありだっけ。仕方ない。今回の不手際は多めに見てあげるわ。けどセイバーに首輪をつけなきゃいけないのは本当だよ。だってそうでもしないと他のデッドルートでもこう。
None of what just happened would lead me to believe that that was the correct choice.
ごめん。
師匠、なんで体罰するんですか？
だからそういう話は禁止。ネタバレは良くないし、セイバーちゃんを怒らせちゃダメ。あの子怒ると本気で怖いわよ。ちょっと前セイバーちゃんをからかって臨死体験した子もいるんだから。
あ、それって13日目のことだよね。あれは楽しかった。ってタイガー、なんか今グルルとか聞こえなかった？ん？
別に聞こえない。うわー！ライバル出現の巻！
何あれ、変なのが変なのに乗ってきた。
What is happening? Yeah, no, see, the thing is that none of what just happened makes sense to me. Why was that a bad decision? Why did Saber need to be reined in? That doesn't make sense. None of that made sense. Please comments about, explain to me why that was the quote-unquote wrong decision, because by all means, that was the smart choice. What the fuck is us going out and heading out together gonna do? Like, I'm very confused on why that was the case. Like, what the fuck is Shiro supposed to do by going out together? That makes no sense. It's clear who the enemy is. If Caster's is attacking with an entire army, there's only one thing for us to do.
ここにいても始まらない。セイバー、一緒に来てくれ。登坂はイリアを。
なんで？やだ、私リンのお守りなんてお断りよ。そんなの私だって願い下げよう。けどあんた、シローの言うことなら聞くって言ったでしょ。あいつが言ってるんだからおとなしく従いなさい。そんなの知らない。セイバーなんかより私の方が役に立つ。
Are you? Osaka grabs Ilya from behind and a full melts it and covers her mouth. Ilya, her voice muffled, continues shouting insults and expletives.
分かってる。イリアは私が守りきるわ。その間にあなたはキャスターを倒しなさい。
Would this not just make us an easy time? Like, I don't understand what happened.
頼む。けど、できるだけ無理はするなよ。敵を倒すことより逃げることを考えろ。
Tosaka nods as if to say she doesn't need to be reminded. I turn my back to Tosaka and head towards the veranda.
セイバー、分かっています。シロは私が。
Saber follows me after nodding to Tosaka. In that instant, I doubt my own eyes. The sword swings down at me. I stand stunned as the blade descends toward my head. I twist away and parry with my wooden sword. Even I don't believe it. My body just reacted to the instant I knew I was in mortal peril. The enemy attacks again without missing a beat. A smooth, mechanical movement. A fluid, accurate attack. But that's it. It's accurate, but it's not sophisticated and lacks the brutality of a killing strike. It seems pathetic as to the strength of Saber's strikes, like it's barely moving in comparison to Berserker's incredible speed. Back against the wall, I parry again. As I step back against the wall, Saber strikes like lightning.
シロ、無事ですか？
見ての通りだ。肝を冷やしたけど、なんとかなった。
Take the sword.
なんとかなったではありません。このような時は私の後ろについてこなければダメです。
Chat typo.
今後は気をつけてください。
Saber scolds me for my carelessness. She's right, but I didn't want to just stay behind her.
シロ、私の話を聞いていますか？
ちゃんと聞いてる。それよりセイバー、今のやつは。
Always empty. Whatever hideous thing Saber saved me from was completely annihilated by your attack. Other than the sword isn't there then.
今のはイリアスフィールの言っていた通り、魔物の体を触媒にしてかたどった兵士です。オートマタというよりゴーレムのようですが質は低いですね。今のゴーレム程度なら取り囲まれても問題はありませんが。
I don't know where they were hiding, but how the hell did they manage to sneak in? These crudely assembled things scuttled all around us, closing in like spiders. But they're not the only presence I sense. Countless others surround the house, many times more than I see here. I leap away from the wall. I strike at the bones of my wooden sword. Saber swoops away the bones, crawling towards my exposed back. The bones move jerkily towards us, attacking with the same unnatural movements. It's not hard to fight them off, but we're destroying more of the house with every strike. And I only have a wooden sword. Even if I use strengthening on it, it won't last. As much as I hope I'm wrong, it seems like the bones heading for us are endless. I really hope this isn't going to be isn't going to go on until we both collapse from exhaustion.
どっから湧いてやがるんだこいつら。
I can't help but complain as I fight back to back with Saber. There aren't that many bones coming at me. Some seem to be coming from inside the house, but most seem to be coming from the yard. Saber slashing away at the bones coming from the yard. Looks like they're heading towards the living room. Kusaka and Ilya are in there, but Saber has her hands full dealing with the bones heading that way. Saber readies her sword. There may be no need to hide it now. Her golden sword is ready to demonstrate its true power. Yeah, but don't.
待てセイバー、ダメだ。エクスカリバーは使うな。内が吹っ飛ぶ分には構わな。いや構うけど、それでも周りは住宅地だ。ここでそんなものを使われたらどうなるかわかるだろう。
Also, maybe don't shout its real name. I shout to Saber as I bat the bones striking at me.
マスターの指示ならば従いますが、これだけの数をまともに相手にするのは面倒です。一掃しなければいずれ窮地に立たされます。
分かってる。要するにあれは使い魔の類だろう。なら操り手を叩けば一網打尽だ。そういえばキャスターの気配は探れるか。
探るまでもありません。キャスターは庭にいます。気配を隠しもしないということは私たちを誘っているようですが。
Okay, well, if you knew that, then why the fuck? Why? I'm so confused.
構わない。誘いに乗ろう。どっちにしたってこんなことを続けてたらこっちが先には一番。
Let's walk into her chat without a counter strategy.
私は一向に構わないのですが。ではこのままキャスターを。
The yard is just ahead. If Caster's just out there, she shouldn't be too difficult to reach. But if we do that, we won't be defending the house. Saber's fighting the bones off now, but as soon as she's outside, the wall holding them all back will be gone. I should. Well, we know what happens if we leave everything to Saber, so I believe in Tosaka. I hear glass shattering. I hear the sound of intense fighting coming from the living room.
シロ、指示を。迷っている時間はありません。
I know. My delaying is making the situation
キャ
worse.
スターを叩く。イリアは遠坂に任せると言ったんだ。
では行きましょう。マスター、私の背中を任せます。
She hurries down the hall, mowing down the bones as she goes. The bone soldiers disappear before getting anywhere near Saber. They are vanishing like snowflakes. Saber scatters so many in her path, it looks like a snowstorm. She said she trusts her back to me, but she pretty clearly doesn't need me to protect her. Once again, I'm reminded how skilled of a sword than Saber is. Saber charges through them, unwavering. She cuts her way straight to the source of these bones. Her only goal now is to defeat the yet unseen sixth servant that has invaded the house. Saber stops. The soldiers, which have been coming at us in droves, are suddenly gone. This must be our destination. A distorted human figure looms ahead of us. It wears a robe of some kind. The robe itself is so dark that it looks more like a hole in the night. A dark shadow. As soon as I lay my eyes on the figure, I'm struck by an indescribable sense of anxiety.
あなたがセイバー。なるほど。確かにこれならバーサーカーを倒し得るわね。私の増票では足止めにもならないでしょ。
The figure chuckles. It seems the dark figure is a master of those bone creatures. Caster.
Hello there.
Hello, Whis. But
マスターがいない。
there's no sign of a master nearby. Maybe she's the same as Lancer? Maybe to move even far from our master?
貴様、契約が切れているのか。
Saber challenges her directly with the question.
彼は私の主にふさわしくなかった。だから消えてもらったし、 消えてしまったわ。
Yeah, well, at least we get to learn more why this fucking failed. I can see the expression on the rogue servant's face. I can't see, but I can hear the terrible coldness in Caster's voice.
マスター殺し。では、貴様のマスターは？
とっくに死んだわ。けれど問題はないのよ、セイバー。私たちは魂食いでしょ。魔力の供給源なんていくらでも溢れている。あとはそう、聖杯さえ手に入れてしまえば心配は何もなくなるでしょうね。
貴様も現世の復活を望むのか？どこの英霊かは知らぬが、そのためにかつての誇りを捨てたのか？
あら、人間風情に使われるのは誇りを捨てるとは言わないのかしら。私はそれが我慢ならなかっただけよ。今も昔も誰かの手足になるのはこりごりなの。だから使う側に回っただけ。あなたに非難される言われはないわ。
The new iPhone has this thing where you can take a picture of something and use AI to tell you about the image. And I was watching Bleach, so I decided to test to see if we could distinguish animes. I took a picture of Rukia and asked it what anime this was, and it said it was Komi Can't Communicate. I did another time with Chad and said it was Cowboy Bebop. So basically, what you're telling me is that AI is that, which is something we knew already. Although it is funny that Chad is likened to Cowboy Bebop. How did that even come to that conclusion? Homie at least makes sense because they're characters with black hair, even though it doesn't work that way. The fuck noise is that? Also, I found out that technically ChatGPT is not being used correctly. I was expecting JoJo. That would make more sense. ChatGPT is a model used to understand data. So everybody who's been asking fucking ChatGPT questions randomly is just not using it correctly. Which is a fun fact for you. More than me saying, oh, AI, blah, 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 this, that. It's just that you're not using it correctly. But that's probably also why AI sucks. Because it's not actually interpreting data as much as it is just spitting it back out at you. Especially Google AI. Google AI sucks. Anyway, rant over. Try to see if I can find a picture of Ichigo and see if it's actually Bleach. What the AI should do, is that it should just take the image of Bleach or whatever screenshot you do and try to reverse Google search it to see if you can find some part of it on the internet. It's not going to do that though. It's just going to give you random anime, I assume.
だろうな。私も貴様の非業になど興味はない。
Saber tilts her body just slightly. Only about 10 meters from Caster. Saber should be able to close that distance and bring Caster down in a heartbeat.
物騒ね。せっかく話し合いに来たのに問答無用だなんて。これでも手加減はしたつもりなのですよ。
貴様と話すことなどない。潔くここで散れ。
Saber's intent only on killing. I'm not about to oppose her in this case. All I smell from Caster is blood. She must be telling the truth about murdering her master. Her raid tonight was clearly intended to kill everyone in the house. So there's no reason for me to stop Saber. Besides, Caster isn't even a threat to Saber. And if I can see Caster's abilities... Even I can see Caster's abilities. She's the weakest when it comes to one-on-one combat. If Saber engages her, she can only lose.
ダメだ、Saber.
Even with all of that in mind, I can't shake off this sense of anxiety. It's not the same feeling as hopelessness. Inevitable death of the same hopeless, inevitable death I got whenever we're in Berserker's presence. Do I just have some sort of aversion to her, or is it warning of something dangerous? It even said it was in his Soul Reaper outfit. Well, giving the main character, identifying the main character is the lowest bar. Forget about me. Somehow my left hand is aching to warn me that Saber should stay away from that thing. Huh? I hesitated too long. Saber launches herself at the dark shadow. Caster smiles. That's a badass outfit, though. She doesn't look all that disturbed as Saber rushes towards her. Atlas? I can't understand what she says, but it sounds like something beyond words straight into our minds. The world lurches and distorts. The air grows denser around Saber. I hear, even feel a tremendous impact. Atlas is in the Greek god Atlas that holds the world on his shoulders? The fuck is she doing with Atlas? The ground fluxes and like something massive slammed into Saber from above. Actually, I think she murmured something like an incantation. Incantations can be short. The simpler the magecraft, the shorter the spell can be made. But this isn't any means of simple magecraft. That many mages could visualize such a thing in a single breath. Even if it were possible, they need to prepare a catalyst ahead of time like Tosaka does. But Caster triggered the magecraft with a murmured word. I have never even heard of anything like this. If that is Caster's magecraft, she is no mere mage. Saber hovers there, frozen. Her feet still kick in midair. She hangs there suspended there. The air around her seems to have thickened into gelatin. I can't get close. Some sort of invisible barrier holds me back. The murkiness seems confined to Saber, but so long as her feet don't touch the ground, she can't move.
侮ったよね、セイバー。あなたの時代の魔術師がどれほどだったかは知らないけど、この指は寝台に生きたもの。
So she's also Greek. Why is everyone fucking Greek? They actually got bleached with Ishida. Ishida is also a very pivotal and important character, so that's not really that surprising either. Like that's like saying like, oh, it got Sasuke with the when I showed her the picture of Sasuke.
こんなマッセの魔術師たちから見れば、私の技は魔法のそれでしょう。
It is magic. A ridiculing laugh echoes from the depths of the dark robe. Saber is still suspended, helpless in the air.
なんだ、本当にこの程度ですか、キャスター。
She dismisses this as if it were some dull trick.
対魔力。そんな、私の魔術すら弾くというのか。
Caster steps back. After casually nullifying Caster's magecraft, Saber surges toward her at lightning speed. But No, Saber! Saber raises her sword. She's already closed in on Caster. I desperately sprint towards Saber, my heart racing. Saber suddenly halts. It's not clear whether Caster did anything. Saber tenses up in sense of something from Caster. Saber twists away to dodge. However, holding arms bursts into the ground to grab her legs.
予知直感まで持っているとは予想外だったけれど、これで罪ね、セイバー。
A sharp blade emerges from the folds in Caster's robe. It's an oddly shaped dagger. It is a weird dagger. Why is it shaped like that? Thin and brittle, the blade isn't meant for killing. Saber regards it in disgust and Caster strikes, clearly seeing her opportunity for victory. Being grabbed from the ground must have surprised Saber, as Saber is unable to dodge or deflect the falling dagger and simply takes the blow, looking astonished. I hear Caster's voice from behind me somewhere. I can't see her expression. The only thing I can do is throw myself in front of Saber and take the blow in her place. It wasn't graceful. I didn't have the confidence to just step in and take the dagger through the chest. So instead I tried to shield Saber by hugging her to obscure Caster's target. And so Caster's dagger plunges into my back, tearing through my spine and tearing through my spine in a moment of unbelievable pain. You better be lucky you have that fucking healer factor from Saber. I stopped myself from crying out in pain, and I mustered my strength to support Saber. Can't hear what she's saying, even as close as she is to my ear. Saber understands before I can gather my voice to tell her to jump. I go flying. Saber shakes off the boating hands gripping her legs and carries me with her. Saber's voice is urgent. She lays me gently onto the ground, but pain only grows worse. It feels like scissors tore over my back and somehow poured lead down my spine. The pain is unreal. But I'm not exactly losing my mind over it. Hearing Saber practically shouting actually makes me calmer. I point in Caster's direction, my head still down.
はい。すぐに決着をつけます。少しの間だけ辛抱してください。
Saber turns towards Caster.
今のが貴様の宝具か、キャスター。
I thought our normal phantasm was Atlas, but I guess that was just words to control the earth. Saber's voice was harsh, angry. A black shadow clicks her tongue in irritation and raises the strange dagger in hand.
見ての通り生倉で人間一人殺せないものですけどね。あなたが直感した通り、ある事柄に関してのみ万能とされる魔法の札よ。触れたくないのなら、私には近寄らないことね、セイバ
ー。Caster's talking bold, but she doesn't seem as composed as earlier. Even as powerful mage like Caster can't hurt Saber as long as she's only using magecraft. Whatever her noble phantasm might be, it can't hurt Saber even if she surprises her with it. No, something happened. I give my order through gritted teeth.
あら、それでいいの、セイバー。確かにあなたなら私を追い詰められるわ。けど、その間に誰がそこの男を守るのかしらね。言うまでもないでしょうけど、私の魔術が通じないのはあくまであなただけ。あなたがそこの坊やから離れれば、追い詰められた私が何をするか予想がつくのではなくて。
貴様。
Saber's voice rumbles from deep in her chest. The rattling of bones grows louder. I'm kneeling on the ground, and Saber holds her sword, defending me as the bones surround us. I hate when I try to get a new desktop wallpaper and it becomes all crunchy when I set it as my background. Just get Wallpaper Engine, bro. It's like $5. I messed up. Even if I manage to save Saber, there's no point with me being left so weak. I can't move properly, so I'm just slowing Saber down. Caster would be no threat to Saber alone, but with me to worry about.
話し合いに来たと言ったな、キャスター。セイバ。マスターは黙っていてください。今はこれが正しい選択です。
Saber lowers her sword. I think I hear Caster's laugh amid the sound of rattling bones all around us.
話を聞こう、キャスター。条件によっては見逃してやってもいい。
正気？あなたたちの命は私が握っているのですよ。そんな強気な態度に出られると、つい握りつぶしてしまいそうだわ。
間違えるな。貴様が握っているのは私ではなく、私のマスターの命だけだ。だが、それを潰すというのなら私も容赦はしない。この身が消え去る前に、我が剣の全てをもって貴様を焼き尽くす。
The air around us goes cold. Saber's words intimidate Caster. I can feel it. I use Wallpaper Engine when it lets me cycle between like 200 wallpapers. Please, just turn the fucking app on and change it yourself. It's really not this hard. Besides, you don't have to worry about shitty wallpapers. Also, it's not stopping you from using the wallpapers you're already using. So, like, you don't lose anything here. You just gain more options.
いいわ。そこの坊やには手を出さない。もともと私の目的はあなただもの。一人ぐらいマスターを見逃しても支障はないわ。
One more, which means she already took someone else out.
初めから私が目的。
そうよ。バーサーカーを倒したほどの英霊を見逃してはないわ。残るサーバントは私とあなた。それにランサーだけ。あなたを味方に引き入れれば、ランサーなど敵ではないもの。
You and I, along with Lancer, are the only servants who remain. That means she took out the bitch on the hill, or she is the bitch on the hill. Well, we haven't seen her face. She's supposedly, quote-unquote, immaculately beautiful or whatever. So I assume that she is the lady on the hill, which means the person that was in the... supposedly the person that was lurking in the shadows that when Saber fought Assassin... Wait, what? Did Assassin lose? How did Assassin lose? Assassin was the asshole on the hill.
残り3人。では、アサシンはすでに倒されたのか。
さあ、もういないのだから倒されたのでしょう。主も守れないサーバントは消えて当然よ。
Assassin was defeated. Does that mean that the Master and Rito Temple is gone? I didn't fight them or even know who they were, but now there's one less Master. So that explains a little bit because Raiden was saying that we've been trying to gather up fucking magical energy over there for a while now, and then it just all of a sudden stopped. So if he was defeated, that would make sense, unless this is some kind of ploy to deliver us into a false sense of security. So the only remaining servants are Saber, Caster, and Lancer, who hasn't shown up since the first fight.
くだらない無駄話はそこまでよ。
Well, you didn't...
私が欲しいのはあなたのその宝具だけ。マスターを殺されたくなければ、おとなしくその剣を渡しなさい。
それこそ無意味な。この剣を扱えるのは私だけだ。宝具はその持ち主でなければ使えないと、英霊ならば分かっていよ
う。ああ、そうだったわね。けどそれならあなたごといただくまでの話よ、セイバー。どんなに優れた騎士でも捕らえてしまえばどうとでも懐柔できるし、何よりあなたは私の好みですから、ね。
Oh no, she's gay and evil. It really is 2000 in here. Her voice drips with amusement. I feel myself on the verge of passing out, even as my anger boils over. I try to shove the pain aside and start to force myself to stand on numb legs. I'm not going to let Saber get captured because of me. I decide I'm going to protect Saber, so I'm not letting a wound like this bring me down. I grab my wooden sword and start slashing at the bones surrounding us. Saber's voice is brittle, tense.
そう、自殺したいのなら止めはしないわ。
Caster mocks me as I struggle. Bones crack and rattle. As if to muffle all those sounds. Chat, that's my girlfriend. The bones are swept aside in the blink of an eye by a sudden volley of arrows. We all stand dumbfounded. The arrows that rain down on us just disappear as if they had been an illusion. But they weren't. The entire horde of bones is gone.
誰だ
Caster looks up. Saber must have noticed earlier. Well before Caster, she stares up toward the wall in disbelief. Answer? Wait, who the fuck is this? I thought it was Ren. This is who the fuck is this guy? I don't understand what I'm seeing. There's a golden figure sitting here with the moon behind them. It's a man clad in golden armor looking down at the yard with a cruel smile. Caster raises her voice, instinctively realizing that this is the one who annihilated her troops. He gives no answer. He's not even looking at Caster. His eyes are fixed on one person alone. Saber. Caster's voice is heavy with emotion. The golden armored man finally looks at her. Caster gasps at the man's red eyes that bore into her. His gaze is impossibly cold. He doesn't even see Caster as human. I can tell, as far away as I am. I don't blame Caster for being intimidated, like some icy hand has a grip on her heart since she looks straight into his eyes. Caster's voice trembles as she speaks. She must know she's doomed if she doesn't do something. But... Damn. His answer comes as death sentence. I hear a loud snap. By the time I realize, before I realize the sound of him, it's the sound of him clicking his fingers, the tragedy has begun. A myriad weapon appear in the air, shooting towards Caster like bullets from a machine gun. Caster raises her arm. A conceptual shield envelops her, in the form of glassy film in front of Caster. It's like every bit as durable as the Berserker himself, but her weapons are probably fruitless as the barrier is merely glass. The crystalline barrier shatters under the deadly rain of so many weapons. She sounds utterly dumbfounded. But then a modicum of concern for Caster as she so pitifully tilts her head in wonder. The weapons tear through her dark robe. They are merciless. Spears tear into her, setting fabric flying, only for yet more of them to plunge into her body. Swords cut down her falling form, while arrows sail toward the army as it is about to hit the ground. An axe chops off her head, about to complain about the pain. All that brings Caster to an untold peaks of agony. She can't possibly survive. Caster succumbing to an endless hail of so many different weapons is no longer even recognizably human. The wind flows. Her tattered empty robe floats away. The shredded pieces of it fly skyward in the evening breeze. The torn robe tries valiantly to hold its form. Maybe it's because it's the only thing remaining to remind us of Caster. I'm completely speechless. My frozen mind is fixed on the miserable remnants of the cloth as they float away. And then... Is this one of the Knights of the Round Table? This feels like a Lancelot character. The man in gold grunts contemptuously. I'm not hallucinating. Dark robe twists like the coils of a snake, and then sprouts wings to fly away. But it's too late. I don't know what the man did, but they'll only see a crack in the night side itself. Like a wave breaking out of the sea, the fault line engulfs the floating robe. It's like a person being run over by a steamroller. The robe falls. Caster is beneath it unscathed. And then a storm of magical swords rain down onto her. Well, that bitch is dead. Her scream has split the night. More swords fall upon her in response, and her scream grows louder. Yeah, if you get stabbed, do not pull this shit out. Caster must be able to heal herself like Saber. Even on those swords impaling her is still not enough to kill her, but it's hard to watch. The torrent of swords do not stop. Each weapon is different, no two are alike. And as such, I don't want to admit it, each of the weapons is a magical sword or spear, and is easily a match for a servant's noble phantasm. An inexhaustible supply of noble phantasms rains down on Castor. Seeing the way she struggles under it is just...
死んじゃう。こんなデタラメで死ぬなんて。そんな。おかしい。おかしくて。こんな嘘。
And that is the end of Castor. She disappears along with the black mist that was hiding her. The infinite cycle of torture that seemed to drag on forever lasted in actually about 10 seconds. Actuality, during that time, Saber stood scowling at the Golden Knight.
魔術師風情が騎士王を捕らえるなどと口にするのも大罪よ。
That's definitely a knight of the round.
あれは王である俺のものだ。王の宝に手を出す輩にはかような串刺しが似合っていよう。さて、久しいなセーバー。覚えているか？俺が下した決定を。
His tone turns amicable as he addresses Saber. But Saber doesn't answer. Chilling glares at all the more intensely at him.
なんだその顔は。未だ覚悟ができていないというのか。あれから10年だぞ。すでに心を決めても良い頃だが。ああ、もっともそれは俺だけの話なのか。お前にとってはつい先日の話であった。まったく。男を待たせるとはたわけた女だ。
He laughs heartily, my heart's pounding. Partly from the disaster I just witnessed. But beyond that, the way he's looking at Saber is making me nauseous.
まだ雑種が残っていたか。
He glances toward the house, annoyed. Huh? I look and see Tosaka and Ellie on the veranda in front of the living room.
何？あれ。
Elliot doesn't know, so maybe it's not a servant. Elliot looks up at the man and looks like she's seen a ghost. She strains her eyes for a moment, then shakes her head in disbelief.
嘘。あなた、誰なの？
Yeah, they're not a servant, which means they're outside.
見てわからぬか？この実は。
Yes, not a servant specifically. Illy jumps off the veranda and glares at the man as if in challenge.
知らない。私、あなたなんて知らない。私が知らないサーバントなんて存在しちゃいけないんだから。
待て！
My words don't reach her. Illy releases a massive amount of magical energy straight up at the man. I hear her rushing through the air. He does nothing. A mirrored shield appears in front of him and reflects Illy's attack back at her. She's been so blind and desperate in her attack that now she has no time to react to it. Illy can only stand there as she acts. Can only stand there as if her attack rebounds toward her. Tosaka steps in and saves her, blocking the attack.
なるほど。今回はまた変わり種だな。前回の鉄を踏まぬよう少しは工夫したということか。
What the fuck is happening? He looks down at Illy, scrutinizing her. He looks at Illy the same way he looks at Saber, coldly as though appraising prized possessions.
やだ。私はあなたなんて嫌いなんだから。
Illy glares at the man while Tosaka tries to hold her back.
様の事情など知らん。いいから早く開け。
What?
そら、せっかくの5人目なのだからな。
He says it so simply. I'm not sure why that had any effect on her. Lilia trembles violently and then slumps to the ground. That's it. Nothing else can happen. Osaka and I can only look up at the man. You completely understand. He's not looking at us. It's either so much as he speaks up and we meet the same fate as Caster. If either of us so much as speaks up, we'll meet the same fate as Caster. But not Saber. Her silence as she stares up at the Golden Knight is entirely different from ours.
なぜあなたが限界しているのです、アーチャー。
Oh, it was Archer. I figured it was him because of the way like his hair is and everything, but it's very bizarre, you know? But like, what the fuck is happening? Saber tries to keep her voice under control. That's why she said I hate you, and that also explains how Archer was able to do everything. Osaka and I can only gasp in surprise.
なぜも何もなかろう。聖杯は俺のものだ。自らの持ち物を取りに来て何が悪い？
ふざけたことを。あなたはそのような英雄ではない。いや、そもそも。
But does that mean that when Archer was summoned by Tosaka, he was incredibly incomplete?
やめておけ。その先を口にしては戦わざるを得なくなるぞ、騎士王よ。いや、もとよりそのつもりであったが、今日がそがれた。再会を祝すにしては、ここはみすぼらしすぎるからな。
And with that, the man in gold turns away. He turns his back to us as if to demonstrate that we are no threat.
いずれ会うぞ、セイバー。あの時から俺の決定は変わらぬ。次に出向くまでに心を決めておくがいい。
What the fuck just happened? He disappears. The tension fades and the yard returns to its usual tranquility. But it's the only thing that returns to how it was. The Mia house is in shambles and Ilya has fainted. Saber, still with her back to us, remains silent. Alright, well, if you're watching this on YouTube, that's the end of this part. We're still streaming, so if you want to check this out live as it happens, you should definitely hit the like button, subscribe, and check us out. Link to the Twitch streams in the description down below. I'm going to take a short break for Twitch chat, because I have to pee, and I've had to for a while now. What the fuck just happened? The blonde little shit strolled in, fucked everybody up, and then we found out that it was Archer. So, alright, potty break.